Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to everyone present here and virtually. Before we begin with the proceedings of the inaugural ceremony, I request all of you to rise for the university song.
महाराजा कृष्ण कुमार सिंह जी भावनगर विश्वविद्यालय महाराजा कृष्ण कुमार सिंह जी भावनगर विश्वविद्यालय सतत बरसता विद्याना वरदान अहीं पल पल मुकुरित तेज धवल शुभ ज्ञान जाति निरतणों प्रज्वलित ज्ञान ना ज्योति थकी पराजय महाराजा कृष्ण कुमार सिंह जी भावनगर विश्वविद्यालय अहीं अविरत चल के परम पुनित संस्कार अहीं केवल निर्मल प्रेम सहज शृंगार अनुपम उन्नत गौरव ना गुंजन नो वहे सदा महाराजा कृष्ण कुमार सिंह जी भावनगर विश्वविद्यालय महाराजा कृष्ण कुमार सिंह जी भावनगर विश्वविद्यालय
Thank you, everyone. A warm welcome to all the dignitaries, invited guests, fellow scholars, colleagues, and dear students. On behalf of the Department of English, Maharaja Krishna Kumar C.G. Bhavnagar University, I, Prakriti Bhatt, welcome you all to the seminar where DH meets AI and English takes the stage. Thoughts, opinions, questions regarding that last phrase and its reframing are welcome. As we embark on this intellectual journey, this learning experience, I request you all to buckle up and be ready to hear thoughts like the bytes colliding with the books or both making peace for the sake of human expression. For florally welcoming our guests, just a second. First of all, I invite Dr. Vaidehi Haryani to welcome the representative of the Board of Management, Professor Dr. D.R. Godhani, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. To to welcome the Honorable Registrar of our university, Dr. Bhavesh Chani, sir. I request Ms. Kavisha Alagya. Thank you. Uh, then to invite the Honorable IQAC Coordinator of MKBU, Professor J.P. Mehta, sir. I invite Ms. Megha Trivedi. Thank you, sir. Now, to welcome our scholarly speakers present here today, I request Ms. Bhavyata Kukadia to welcome the keynote speaker for the day, Professor Nigam Dave, sir. Thank you. And to welcome Dr. Richa Mishra, ma'am, I request Ms. Upasna Goswami. Now, to welcome the dignitaries gracing our session chairs for the day, to welcome Principal Dr. Sunita Nimawat, ma'am, I request Ms. Kavisha Alagya. And, and my best wishes to all the participants joining us online and offline. Um, we hope that you have a significant learning experience during all the 4 sessions scheduled for the day. And now I'll hand over the mic to Ms. Kavisha Alagya to proceed with the further.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our seminar. Today, we are here to explore something really exciting: how technology, storytelling, and language all come together in some pretty fascinating ways. Think of it like this: you know how your phone can understand what you say? Well, that's thanks to AI, artificial intelligence. Now imagine using that same technology to dig deep into literature, history, and culture. That's where digital humanities or DH comes in. It's like bringing a digital magnifying glass to study everything from Shakespeare to modern day poetry. And of course, English studies is all about diving into the magic of language and literature. But now with AI and DH, we are opening up new doors and asking questions we never thought to ask before. So today we are going to explore how these three worlds collide, intertwine, and spark new ideas. Get ready for the journey that is as exciting as it is enlightening. As we embark on this intellectual journey, it gives me a great pleasure to invite to the dais our esteemed Professor Dr. Dilip Bharad sir, a distinguished figure in the field of English studies and a visionary leader whose guidance has shaped the academic landscape of the department. I invite Professor Dr. Dilip Bharad sir to extend a verbal welcome to our esteemed speakers. Thank you.
A very good morning to one and all present here. I warmly welcome all our speakers who accepted our invitation. Two are present here in physical mode and two are going to join us virtually after post-lunch. Professor Dr. Nigam Dave, he is alumni of our department also, of our university also. So we are very proud to invite our alumni as a resource person here. After completing his master's from our department, he joined the job at Ahmedabad and now in a very reputed university of Gujarat, Pandit Dindayal Energy University, which was earlier known as PDPU, Petroleum University. He is now Dean of International Relations and also heading the Department of Liberal Arts, which is growing in a very interesting manner throughout India under now the flagship of new education policy also. So, sir, we warmly welcome you here. Then we have another very interesting speaker, Richa Mishra, madam. She is from Nirma University, and she is doing very interesting collaborative work with some of the UK universities in digital humanities. Uh, we look forward towards her presentation to see that how practically some of the doable digital humanities projects can be carried out. There are many undergraduate students also here. Maybe in future you might be looking for some research projects, some dissertations, something in field of digital humanities. So how we can build up a new community in the humanities, which is thinking in line of digital. So doable projects, which is very challenging task also. Normally we belong to the arts faculty, and so the people of the arts have lots of problem with technology, digital. As soon as something technical comes, then we become helpless, and we think that we can't do it. So doability with digital humanities is very much possible. There are very interesting tools coming up. So her presentation will be on tools and techniques there. In the post lunch, we have two online sessions. So we will have Dr. Richa Mishra joining us from Christ University, Lavasa, Pune, Maharashtra, and she will be talking about rethinking authorship. So one of the very interesting challenges that was faced by digital humanities or technology in literature classrooms or departments of languages and literatures was that technology will be able to do everything, but it will not be able to create literature. Creativity will remain forever the domain of human beings only. Now, the emergence of Chat GPT in 22 November 22 has challenged that idea, and today nobody stands strong to say that creativity is the only domain of human beings. Machines have developed the capacities to write poems, write plays, write novels, script writing for cinema, everything it has already developed. A very interesting example we see that even in the Hollywood, the writers were on a long strike to see that AI is not used for script writing. So we can imagine that if in America, Hollywood industry is facing a challenge, the writers, screenwriters, dialogue writers are facing the challenge. How drastically the emergence of generative AI has played a vital role in what we were thinking before November 22 and now what we think of. So how we can rethink authorship in this new dynamics. And finally, we will have for pedagogical concern, teaching and learning and artificial intelligence. So Dr. Shobha will join from Chennai, and she will talk about teaching and learning and how AI can be directly useful to students and teachers also. Uh, we are quite happy to announce that another very interesting dynamics we are seeing in this seminar here is that we have large number of girls, women joining here. If you see at the global level, there is a day being celebrated, that is ICT for Girls Day. ICT for boys is not celebrated. ICT for girls is celebrated. We also know that when we entered into the era of feminism post 1950s, 60s, 70s, coming down to 90s, and now in 21st century, many times we started believing and thinking that now everything is at par. Now there is no need of feminism. Everybody is given equal opportunities, and those dialogues or those sounds started emerging also. But at the same time, we also see that no, still even today in the emerging areas, there is some kind of dominance of a patriarchal way of looking. Because when we see the new fathers of IT era, we have lots of fathers in the history. There are no mothers as such in history of literature also, but there are fathers. Now, when we see the new fathers, we find Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, all men emerging again and leading the domains of the IT industry also. And this all is happening when there was interesting power given to women. Women were already out working, and that was the then also somehow when the new area is emerging, there is man who is thinking. So there is ICT for Girls Day. Globally, it has been seen that perhaps women is not very actively involved into technology and other kinds of things. This seminar would say that there is that's a wrong notion. Things are changing again, and that is 75% of our participants are girls. So big applause to all the teachers who encouraged you, and all of you who had been a part of this. And not only that, even our speakers also. Normally, when you see the list of the speakers, they're all men again. But here there is a different dynamics. There is a very long keynote speaker only who is a man, Dr. Nigam Dave, and rest of all the three speakers are women who are going to talk about artificial intelligence, digital humanities, and English studies also. So we are now seeing the leadership, the participation of everybody is happening here. We also keep in mind that historically, when we try to look, even Nigam sir will talk about the historical aspect of all these things also. We see that whenever new things are emerging, there is always a resistance to acceptance of new things. And there is nothing wrong in that. There should be resistance. And so we become more conscious about what to take, what not to take. We filter the things with our lens of critical thinking also. But just to oppose anything because it is new or because I am not able to adjust with the new ideas is not a good idea. We need to think that the future generations, normally when we are in academia, we always have to see that the way we have lived in past, the generation is not going to live. For them, the life is much of a different kind. So how you build up a new generation where they accept the new ideas also. And if I give an example of resistance and acceptance, then a very interesting example comes in my mind is about Plato. In Greek academy, Plato used to believe that there should be no space for writing in academia, only spoken words. And he privileged speaking over writing. So no writing, no teacher should write anything, nobody who is listening should take any notes also. He believed that truth is near a spoken word, and once it is written, it is away from the truth. So speech was privileged. In his Phaedrus, the work that he has written, he also mentioned that when the god of invention, the Greek god of invention, came to one of the kings of the Greek and told that I have invented something new for your people. And that invention was writing that the god has invented, and came to the king. But the king questioned the god, and he said that it is your invention, so you like it very much. But I think that this invention will not help my citizens. My citizens may get an illusion that they know everything, but actually they may not know anything. Everything is in writing, not in their memory. So that problem it may be. And the king was not ready to accept writing. The same way we can see today technology also, or generative AI also, that what will happen? Many people say, like that king, that it will make people lazy, our cognitive abilities will be damaged, our thinking capacities will be damaged. That all are the fear and apprehension that people are displaying today also. Even though that argument is quite interesting, quite good also, but what we see after 2000 years down the line is that writing has won. Plato has somewhere gone wrong in not understanding the importance of writing in knowledge creation. Today, we can't imagine a knowledge system without writing. Writing has been an integral part. So though that argument was true, down the line 2000 years, we find that that argument has lost and writing has become very important. So today also, when we debate and argue about the thing, we never know what will happen after 100 years, 200 years, how the digital tools, how all these things may play a very significant role, may damage also, may damage our cognitive abilities, our thinking capacities, and may turn us into the lazy people who just will give command to the things. Things will be ready-made, prepared by artificial intelligence also. I normally give an argument that that will not happen with humans. Humans will keep on evolving. Their brains will keep on evolving. They will be much better thinking beings than they were in the previous ages. And those who are lazy will always remain lazy. Even in the past, there were lazy people. When there was no technology, then also they were lazy. So it doesn't mean that, and everybody's cognitive abilities were never so good. Even when nothing of such things were used, then also all were not very smart people. There were few smart people there. So that may happen with everybody also. So with this note, I warmly welcome again everybody, especially to all the colleges and the teachers, principals of the colleges who sent large numbers of students from undergrad colleges. Thanks to all of you also for this active participation of your students there. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Today, it is worth considering to see how students of literature are benefiting from digital humanities. We can say that digital humanities and technology and science as well are no longer two separate disciplines, but they are two sciences with same approach. Now, we will proceed to the next session. I would like to request Dr. Pravesh Jani sir to address our audience. Over to you, sir.
સૌપ્રથમ પ્રજાવત્સલને એક નામદાર મહારાજા શ્રી કૃષ્ણકુમારસિંહજીના ચરણોમાં કોટી કોટી વંદન. Respectful namaste to all respected dignitaries in front row. Invitees are respected Board of Management member Professor Godani sir, IQAC Director Professor JP Mehta sir, respected Head Department of English Professor Bharat sir, our respected Principal ma'am Sunita ma'am, and both the speakers. And along with that, I really very happy to see and say namaste to each one of you in large number of students. On behalf of Maharaja Krishna Kumar Singh Bhavnagar University, as well as and the respected Vice Chancellor sir, I welcome each one of you in our university campus. And I have to say congratulations to organizing committee to organizing such a wonderful national seminar in a Bhavnagar University campus. Dear students, it's really a great day for all of us to create such kind of environments, the research environments, what exactly the purpose of our university and department of university, that we have to create this kind of environments. The undergraduate students and postgraduate students will learn all these things. They think about that, how they have to meet each other and think about the career. I think that some of students will be they're the leading person when India will celebrating 100 years of independence. આઝાદીનો અમૃત મહોત્સવ જ્યારે 100 વર્ષનો થશે ને ત્યારે યુ પીપલ હેવ ટુ લીડ ધ ઇન્ડિયા. અને આજે કંઈ શીખશો ને તમે એ યુ વાન્ટ ટુ યુટિલાઇઝ ઓન ધેટ ટાઈમ. સો મને વિશ્વાસ છે, આઈ એમ વેરી મચ કોન્ફિડન્ટ that all the sessions definitely will help out you in your future career, and have a great time. Enjoy the session. God bless each one of you. Thank you very much. Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, we are very grateful for with all of your presence. Now we will proceed to the next session, which features the keynote address by Professor Nigam Dave, sir. I am pleased to announce that this session will be chaired by Professor Parul Mishra, ma'am. Allow me to provide a brief introduction of our esteemed chairperson who is online with us right now. Dr. Parul Mishra, ma'am, is currently serving as a professor at MIT University, Rajasthan, Jaipur. With an impressive academic record, she had contributed immensely in the field of English studies. She had authored 7 books, contributed 11 book chapters, and published 22 research papers reflecting her deep engagement with literary discourse and critical inquiry. As a program coordinator of MA English, as well as the coordinator of PhD programs at MIT School of Languages, she plays a pivotal role in shaping the academic pursuits of aspiring scholars. In addition to her academic endeavors, ma'am has made significant contributions as a research guide, having supervised 12 master's theses in English literature and currently guiding 8 PhD scholars under her mentorship, and with 2 awarded theses. Dr. Mishra's expertise transcends the boundaries of her university, allowing her to make meaningful contributions to academia and beyond. She has served as a resource person at various esteemed institutions, conducting workshops and seminars on diverse topics, such as translation and research in modern academics, technique of teaching English and postmodernism. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Parul Mishra, ma'am. Ma'am, we heartily welcome you. Now I request Professor Parul Mishra, ma'am, to formally introduce our esteemed speaker, Professor Dr. Nigam Dave, sir. Over to you, ma'am.
Hope I'm audible.
Ma'am, you are clearly audible.
Okay, thank you so much. So, a very good morning to everyone, and thank you to the organizers for inviting me as chairperson. And it's really a wonderful topic to deal with. Is it okay? Am I audible? There is some.
Now,
Yeah, yeah. Now it's fine. I think the mic was on. Yeah.
you are not
Can
audible.
hello, hello, hello. I think I'm disconnected. Hello. Okay, there is this mic problem. I think one of you have to switch it off, the mics, some extra one. I am, hello. Uh,
Ma'am,
hello.
ma'am.
Am I audible? No, but I can't hear anything. Am I audible? What is this? I think there is again this echo is there. Anyways, I think I should not. Can you hear me now? Hello.
Ma'am,
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
now she is not audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Please continue.
Okay. So I'm continuing now. So we are honored to have Professor Dave with us to lead this session. Her expertise in digital humanities will definitely, provide a valuable perspective on the topic uh, of AI, DH, and English studies, as the organizers and even the host has clearly stated the objective of the conference. So, without wasting much time, I would like to introduce our speaker. So, Professor Dave is looking after various academic and administrative profiles in Pandit Deen Dayal Energy University. Professor Dave has visited the US, Canada, Singapore, Australia, Malaysia as a member of academic and government delegations. He has visited Sacred Heart University, Washington, and Jefferson College, Columbia University, Memorial University, Columbia University, Memorial University, University of Saskatchewan, Brock University, Alberta University, Houston University, Oklahoma. I think the list is very long. So, in a sense, I can say that he is an international speaker with us. So there are too many universities. If I'm allowed, I should read this. So there is Tulsa University, Texas A&M, Singapore National University, TAFE Sydney, Macquarie University, University of Wollongong, NSW La Trobe University. So there are many to name, and I think the list is long to deliver any kind of appreciation to our speaker. But still, I would like to end this introduction by saying that he has been awarded the honorary rank of Colonel by NCC India. He is currently also the Dean of the Office of International Relations, PDEU. Professor Dave holds academic and research experience of 31 years as of 2024. Is value neutrality of deepfakes and its positive implications. So over to our speaker. Oh my God, was it? Oh my God. So I was not audible. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, was I audible? What is this issue? Okay.
Hello. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Respectful regards to the chairperson and the dignitaries present here. My formal introduction apart, I belong to all of you. By birth, this is my native town. And Professor Barrett introduced me that I was a alumnus of masters, but I was also an alumnus of PhD here. So I'm a double alumnus. And therefore, it's always a pleasure to come back to our own city and contribute whatever little way we can. Before I move into my presentation, today in the morning when I woke up, I saw Professor Barrett's news clip that has come today about this conference in maybe Divya Bhaskar. But I also saw the front page of the newspaper and the fourth page of a newspaper. So I have the clip of the newspaper with me. And ironically, whenever I have in past tried to talk about positives of deepfake spreads. So I'm fighting a lone battle. But today's newspaper says that more than 5,000 electoral advertisement verification was done and they were found fake and they have been blocked. Also, in advertisement, 1.2 crore account Google has blocked. But at the same time, I'm also happy that somebody who had also shown his concern about deepfakes, our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. I read in the Inside newspaper that today his interview would be shown. And in that interview, he says that today when a child is born, the child first utters two words, I and AI. So we are in a very interesting time where we talk about concern, we talk about safety features, we talk about whether this is good for me or whether it is good for the society. And at the same time, we are interested also. I recall in Mahabharata, Duryodhan says, Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti, janami adharmam nachame nivrutti. So it is always, firewalls. My university is very strict about firewalls. So when I joined my university from a traditional workplace, one of the students came to me and said, sir, your computer would not be in firewall. So I want to leave my pen drive in your computer. You please don't switch off. So I said, you at least let me know what you are downloading. And he said, I'm downloading torrents. So I said, torrents download is not allowed. But because something is not allowed, we are always inquisitive to see why it is not allowed. It has been a human tendency. If we say, don't do this, we would want to do this. And therefore, as Professor Barrett was talking about initial resistance, let me just set the preamble and then I'll move into my presentation. Industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and now almost 5.0. Whenever the new revolution came, people resisted. In fact, all of us, considering that we are scholars in English, we know how Charles Dickens's time opposed the Industrial Revolution. But at the same time, Julevan and others were talking about steampunk. So we were resisting the revolution, but we were also endorsing the revolution. I play a little bit of music during my leisure time, which I don't get much. But whenever I play music, I am always fascinated because I used to represent my college team in youth festivals. And in youth festival world across, it is electronic instruments are prohibited. They say only acoustic instruments are allowed. Now, when we have technology, when we have wonderful synthesizer or MIDI player or arranger, which can play so many sounds, why don't we allow? But it is always believed that acoustic instrument is always better than electronic instrument, which I slightly disagree with my own personal experience. Also, initially when the technological revolution came, we were resistant to the use of computers also. When Professor Barrett was talking about ChatGPT, when ChatGPT came in discussion and there was a lot of noise around ChatGPT, at the time, most of the universities started discussing how to control students. Now, that has been an ongoing tussle between students and the university administrative authorities. The administrative authorities always want to control, the state wants to control, and the citizens want to exercise their freedom of autonomy. So it goes on. And so we experimented at that time in Ahmedabad, in Gandhinagar. We came up with the first collaborative writing project with ChatGPT and students. And we wanted to experiment whether collaborative writing is possible or not. Because today, when options are available, why not to use? And therefore, it is always our initial step to be cautious. And as Professor Bharat says, nothing wrong. I am not here an advocate of deepfake. And that's the reason why my topic, the first word I have very cautiously selected, it is a value neutrality. What I'm just trying to do, the deliverable for this presentation, why you should listen to me for next 45 minutes, is this, that let us be open-minded, at least in understanding what technology is. And instead of calling it deepfake, why can't we call it synthetic media? Because when we coin words like this only. We coin words that are in negative connotation, and it did start as a negative connotation. In late 2017, this is how the deepfake came into noise. In late 2017, when a Reddit user named Deepfake, whose identity is still anonymous, popularized the technique of using deep learning algorithm for face swapping. Now, the intention at that time, mind well, was to create fake pornographic videos of celebrities. So that's how the word deepfake came into introduction. And then the term deepfake is believed to have originated from various fora of Reddit dedicated to sharing and discussing this type of synthetic media content. So no doubt, right now, majority of the use of deepfake per se is negative. But at the same time, when you dive deep into this technology, you find that there are lot many positive factors that we are simply not considering. We have blocked our attention with monofocus, that something that comes from technology we do not want to embrace. And therefore, during my presentation, I would try to talk about how in informal way, historically, culturally, we have been using this type of technique since long. But because they did not have the name of deepfake, and because there was no noise around it at that time, we accepted. We always do like that. So I would try to, and when I was preparing my presentation, I thought about Marlowe, Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. And Dr. Faustus wants to see how Helen of Troy looked like. And when Helen of Troy is shown to Dr. Faustus, he gets disappointed. And this is the line that he speaks. Was this the face that launched 1,000 ships and burnt the topless towers of Ilium? So I am coming up with a premise, the hypothesis that are deepfakes in a position to burn the topless towers of the world administration? If yes, what we as human beings can do to prevent that? If no, what we have missed out in creating the noise around deepfake? So on that note, I thank Bhavnagar University for inviting me. I have brought two small, my own persona. I would not call it deepfake because creating deepfake video is prohibited in India. And therefore, I have tried to replicate synthetic media. The first one is my own chatbot. You know how chatbots work. You can ask the chatbot a question and chatbot would answer. So actually, rather than me greeting you and thanking Professor Barad, I wanted my digital avatar to thank you all and create expectation regarding the entire seminar. Here I go. So that was a question asked by me.
Good morning, research scholars at Maharaja Krishna Kumar Singh Bhavnagar University. Value neutrality is a concept that emphasizes the impartiality and objectivity of research. It suggests that researchers should remain unbiased and refrain from imposing their personal values or beliefs on their findings. Now, let me explain why deepfake technology should not be viewed with a negative bias only. Deepfake technology has the potential for both positive and negative implications. While it can be misused for malicious purposes, such as spreading misinformation, it can also be used for creative expression, entertainment, and enhancing certain applications like video editing. It is important to consider the diverse possibilities and engage in responsible usage of such technology.
The second one is made with Wondershared Vibro. Now, this application is a paid application, but you are given certain minutes free. So although I'm born in Bhavnagar, my maximum time has spent in Ahmedabad. So I only use free material. And therefore, I could utilize those first 5 minutes free video that was given to me. But actually, I've seen that if you go to this version and subscribe for the paid version, you can speak in English, one video, and it translates through lip syncing in multiple languages. Something similar that I'm going to demonstrate. But just as the popular meme says, the person in that frame is my digital avatar, my virtual avatar. He would be speaking, but the voice is mine. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nigam Dave. This is my virtual avatar. As in our famous memes, they say, "Bol wo raha hai, par shabd hamare hai." This technique of audio overlapping the virtual avatar is used with the help of an application called Verbo. We have also seen the movie Shamitabh, Amitabh and Shamitabh, where actors sometimes becomes helpless. Many actors do not speak the language they speak in movie or are shown to be speaking that language. So there is dubbing also, which is a use of the synthetic media wherein somebody else is speaking, but the lip syncing on the screen is done. Thomas Friedman, who is considered to be, as Professor Barrett was saying, father of economics, he has written a book called Thank You for Being Late. And in this book, he talks about 3 accelerators. Now, here again, I would want to draw your attention. Generally, in the discourse of digital humanities and AI, people use the word that they are the disruptors. But I would want to call them accelerators. Why to call them disruptor? You can be disturbed if you are potentially disturbable. Otherwise, they are accelerators. So Thomas Friedman talks about 3 accelerators, 3M. He said these 3 accelerators are always going to accelerate. And you and I are already in that accelerator. We cannot jump down now. We are riding the tiger. So we have to tame the tiger or at least coexist with the tiger. And therefore, what are these 3M? He says the first M is Mother Nature. It is passing through changes. And we have seen so many times how the natural disasters are occurring more and more. Unwanted rain comes, heat wave is going on, etc., etc. So Mother Nature is passing through change. Second one is market. Market is also passing through change. We are talking about blockchain technology. We are talking about crypto. Almost everybody in India now uses UPI. Even a Pani Puri wala on the road is using UPI. So there's a digital revolution. Market is changing. Near my university, GIFT City is there. And GIFT City is now potentially being projected as the new market hub like Singapore in India. So market is changing. And the third one is Moore's law, MWRE, Moore's law. Now this Moore's law, Moore long back predicted that the speed of the computer silicon chips would double every certain years. Now he did not know that it would continue doubling. So we are already in that accelerator where technology is changing the spectrum so much that what is relevant today might not be relevant 3 years down the line. So when students come to me to ask what specialization they should select, I always tell them that don't think based on your current understanding. Because by the time you would pass 4 years, what you have studied would be redundant. And your blue chip careers that you are visioning right now would be also obsolete. Something new would have come. And in such a scenario, the only thing that we can do is to be open-minded, point number one, and is to keep working very hard to keep in tandem with the accelerator. And therefore, the Chinese proverb says that when the winds of change blow, some people build walls. Maybe that is the reason why the word firewall came. Yesterday, I wanted to use the Voyant tools in my class to talk about, to deconstruct to the lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. And it was all working in my computer very well. And teachers have to prepare plan A, B, C, D, E. So even before I came, I sent my backup PDF to Professor Bharat. What if my pen drive doesn't work today? So yesterday, I very proudly told my students that today we are going to deconstruct to the lighthouse with Voyant tools. And I clicked Voyant tools and it was not working. I again clicked and I said, it's not working. Then I opened my phone, it is working. My student's computer, it is working. Then I dialed IT admin and I said, why have you blocked this? It has nothing to do with dangerous activity. I am not a potential criminal, although I have grown beard these days. So I said, why are you blocking something that is relevant to the students? But the wall, the concept of firewall is this only. If you type in universities like NIRMA or PDU, crossword game, if you use the word game, then it takes it to be video game. And immediately the firewall would block. So we cannot block technology. Technology is already existing with us. Now, how the concept of fake identities in stories world over have been in prevalence. All of you have heard the term Chavanprash. And it is believed that Chavanprash, I'm saying this jokingly, so please don't misquote me. These days, speaking anything in public forum becomes dangerous. But I trust your maturity. Chavanprash comes from Chavan Rushi. So there was a girl called Sukanya, and Sukanya by mistake had poked the blade of grass in Chavan's eyes, and Chavan got blind. And courtesy repentance, Sukanya served Chavan for a very long period of time. And one day the gods decided to reward Sukanya. And therefore, when Chavan went to take a dip in the river, instead of one Chavan, 3 Chavan emerged. And they said, you find out who actual Chavan is. And Sukanya, being very smart, Professor Bharat said that there are many women participants. And in my university also, we have 50% reservation, minimum 50% reservation for girls. And therefore, girls are very smart. Sukanya was very smart. She looked at the eyes of all 3. And this is what you need to do in deepfake. She looked at the eyes of all 3 while the eyes of two were stationary, one was blinking. And she immediately identified, "You are my husband, come." And the other two transformed themselves as Ashwini Kumar, the doctors of gods. And then they gifted Sukanya with the medicine that can revive the old age into youth. And that is Chavanprash. So my point is, even long back in mythology, people thought that identities can be impersonated. उसमें deepfake का कोई हाथ ही नहीं है. Deepfake is the latest phenomenon. But we have heard these stories. We know Ravan impersonated. We know that Arjun, during his hideout, took the form of Brihannala. And we also know Jews who chased Leda. And that's how Helen was born. So there are lot many stories. My point is, in mythology, also in world over in mythical archetype, we find similarities of somebody impersonating somebody. And we had no problems with that. Memes are synthetic media. In fact, I carry 2 applications of memes in my own phone, and I'm a meme creator. I also create memes and have fun. So the first meme is prepared by me. जोर जोर से बोल के सबको deepfake के बारे में बता दे. That's what I'm trying to do. So my point is, Paresh Rawal never said, "ये जानकर मैं क्या करेगा बाबा?" But what I am doing is, I am utilizing the power of synthetic media to alter the text. So what they had not spoken, but context, you all know what I'm talking about. And therefore the context aids the meaning, but the text is different. We have also seen duplicates. Duplicate is a wrong word. Similar looking identity of Virat Kohli, and people click selfies with them. No, nobody shuns them down. Sachin Tendulkar, ironically, who opposed deepfake. There are lots of look-alike Sachin Tendulkar, talking like Sachin Tendulkar, and they have clicked photos with Sachin Tendulkar also. Sachin Tendulkar never said, "No, you are deepfake. I will never click photo with you." What if you come up with scam? That is potentially possible. Through deepfake or synthetic media, I can dupe you, but similarly, my look-alike can also dupe you. But then these people had photos with them. We have Chor Bazaar. In Chor Bazaar, everything is available and we buy. Let us be honest. When we cannot buy brand, we buy. When I was in St. Xavier's College, money was always a constraint, hostelite. And therefore, we used to go to Chor Bazaar and buy all those expensive looking shoes so that we don't be left out of the bandwagoning. There are singers who sing in the voice of somebody. So that also is, we are endorsing. And in fact, Mr. Bachchan and Sudesh Bhosle, they have both been coexisting. So my point is, all these are going on since long. Memes with the text change in the original dialogue. Likewise, the body double, stunt in movies. Shah Rukh Khan body double and Salman Khan body double. Before Rohit Shetty came and new technique came, actually heroes used to fight. आज के जैसे नहीं गाड़ी उछलती है ऐसे. But they used to fight, but the hero would not do the stunt. The body double would do the stunt. Look-alike celebrities, mimicry artists. They talk like, and who knows it better than students? They have the ready material of mimicking the teachers. When I was a student at Department of English, I used to sit in the first row. And I used to mimic my own teachers. God bless them, because they gave me the power of words. But at that time, in immaturity, we never knew that we should not act. One of our esteemed professor in Bhavnagar University, he was a scholar. If he would teach for 5 hours, we won't complain. But he had that one habit that he would speak, and all of us would pre-decide. I mean, I'm giving you tips to do it with Professor Bharat. So all of us in Department of English, we would decide on that day that all of us would count and let us tally whose is more accurate. So we used to count UNOs, and then we used to talk like them. We used to dress like them because he was wearing blazer. So I also thought that one day, if by chance I become a professor, I would also wear a blazer. I would also look like him. So my point is, it has always been our tendency to impersonate or look like the successful people. So these all things are going on. Now, talking about value neutrality. Value neutrality says that if you find dirt everywhere, wipe your glasses. If I find dirt here in this computer, if I find dirt here, if I find dirt here, if I find dirt here, then it means my perception is wrong. And therefore, I need to remove my glasses and clean it. Glasses are not a problem. Dirt is not a problem. My partial viewing of a thing is a problem. So in America, and America is the best country for these type of experiments. In my introduction, it was told that I have visited a number of universities. Yes, I have. But when I went from America to Canada, and both have shared the same border, Niagara se aap ja sakte ho. So my Canadian driver was telling me, on that side, everybody has guns, as if Canadians don't have guns. My point is, people say that this came from US. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. And it is true. The license of guns is always provided to protect yourself, not to kill somebody. Now, what a poor gun would do? You say gun is wrong and therefore gun should be banned. Deepfake is wrong and therefore deepfake should be banned. It is almost similar to that. Both have the potential to come up with a lot of nuisance in the society. But at the same time, it is not the product per se which is wrong. I heard Shiv Khera who said that politics is not a dirty game. Politicians are dirty players. Politics is ennobling. If there is no politics, then you and I would not be able to swallow the proper medicine. You and I would not be able to have education in a university like Bhavnagar University. So politics is good. Political players are dirty. And therefore, but we never say political players are dirty. We always say politics is a dirty game. So that is wrong. The knife that kills people, and every day I don't read the regional newspaper side. आप वो गुजरात समाचार दिव्य भास्कर के पीछे वाला जो सेक्शन पढ़ो तो उसमें वही आता है, भावनगर में इतने लोगों ने ये किया, सुइसाइड किया, इतने लोगों ने इतने लोगों को मार दिया, मेरे सामने क्यों देखते थे, ऐसे करके लाठी मारी, छुरी मारी. All these things are there in you and I read every day. Have you ever complained? No, knife should be banned because knife has the potential to kill. No, the same knife that kills people, the same knife cuts fruits also, and therefore it is not knife that is wrong. So value neutrality is, there are a lot of rumors about Alfred Nobel's invention. And it is said Nobel's brother died. But people mistook which Nobel died. And therefore there was an obituary in the newspaper. And the headline of the newspaper, they say, it is a rumored thing. The headline of the newspaper said that the merchant of death has passed away. Because Alfred Nobel had invented dynamite. And dynamite was supposed to be used for construction. But when Nobel read, people are talking like this about me, he donated his money for the Nobel Prize. My point is, dynamite that was created for a positive purpose, people have started misusing it. And therefore, value neutrality of technology says that technology per se is neutral. It is neither per se beneficial nor wrong. It is our use or application of the technology that needs to be monitored rather than shutting the doors. Now, how does a deepfake technology work? Deepfake technology works with the generative adversarial network, in which there are two encoders, the generator and the discriminator. The generator creates new data set. All of you have heard the term like machine learning and deep learning. It keeps learning. And the problem with AI that we anticipate, because we have always been insecure human beings. We are anthropocentric. And therefore, we always believe our position should be at the top. Now, that's a wrong idea. Everybody has a right to coexist. And therefore, in Dr. Dolittle, Polynesia, the parrot tells Dr. Dolittle, that you human beings think that you are smart. All these years, the only thing that the human beings have been able to decipher is that when a dog wags the tail, the dog is happy. You have not been able to decode our language. And therefore, machine learning or deep learning, the computer has the ability to learn very fast. And it never demands overtime. It never goes on strike. So that's the beneficial aspect. I had a Apple Watch. And when my wife went for shopping, I was sitting in a car guarding that the towing wala should not carry my car. So I just tapped on my Apple Watch and wanted to play with my watch. There is a child in everybody. So I asked, hey Siri, say something, speak something. And Siri answers me, and I have the screenshot. I have not brought it today. It said, Nigam, sometimes silence speaks volumes. And I was amazed. This is wonderful. Then one day I sat with 3 set of phones, Cortana, Google Assistant, and Siri. And I intentionally wanted to play the role of Naradji. I wanted to make them fight. So I intentionally said, Cortana, Siri is better than you. So Cortana replies to me, I am not combative type Nigam. Then I ask Google Assistant, hey Siri, and it answers me, I am flattered to be addressed as Siri, but that's not me. But I appreciate Siri. And then it came up with a mind-blowing sentence. It says, even I have written a poem about it. And it says, Google is red, Google is blue, Apple is sweet, and Siri is too. So my point is, computers are learning very fast because they have the ready data set with them. Something that Dr. Mishra would talk about, corpora. In digital humanities, we don't talk about one book. We talk about metadata. So the generator, what it does is, it captures the photo and the video and the sound and multiple copies of the same and studies. And the discriminator finds out whether these videos or audios are real or fake. So that's the reason why this entire technology is called generative adversarial network. The word adversarial is there because it can potentially target you. And therefore, where do we see the deepfake technology, the use of the artificial intelligence and machine learning can create hyper-realistic synthetic content. In cricket also, there is a synthetic turf. And there is he is a wonderful sports player, so he knows it better than me. I should not be using such example. But there is a natural turf and there is a synthetic turf, such as videos, images, and voice recordings. Use of the synthetic media is growing in all walks of life, like in politics. As I told you, today's newspaper says that now this is very interesting time that is coming ahead of us. We would be seeing a lot of memes, and the memes would be lip syncing to make some political leader look stupid. We would enjoy, because we have always considered somebody else's misery as a harmless nonsense, and we don't question, and therefore we enjoy. And therefore, during political campaign, deepfake is used very much in business, in education. Already there are a lot of artificially intelligent enabled assistants that are working. I had visited Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech in Atlanta is considered to be the paragon of technology students. So in Georgia Tech, an Indian professor was teaching a course of computer engineering, and there was an online course, as we say today. Lot many online participants are present here. So this was before COVID. So the course was presented. Every day the instructor would teach the course, and so many online students would ask the question, and when the teacher would go away, the teaching assistant would answer the question. Uska naam tha Jill Watson. Jill Watson, it is known as Jill Watson case study. Jill Watson case study in Georgia Tech, Atlanta. You can search more about it. So Jill Watson answered very intelligently. A person would ask from any part of the world the question, and Jill Watson would answer. When the certification time came, the professor declared that Jill Watson was the first artificial intelligence assistant who had answered all questions during the course. When this news came, I got scared and I got pleased. I got scared that the role of a teacher, all of you who are sitting with aspirations in your eyes, is in danger. And I got pleased that I only have 10 years left now. So I made it with chalk. But you are all going to face this difficulty. So in education also, this is coming up. I will show my own impersonated avatar, which I used during COVID time. In entertainment industry, it is being used very heavily, and of course in media. So what are the various synthetic media that can be created? Deepfake is one, which is potentially used right now for misanthropic purpose. I would agree to that. It is used mainly to spread misinformation. It is used to create disturbing, intimate videos of the celebrities. There are digital avatars. Digital avatars are slightly different. There are two terms like deep fake and cheap fake. Cheap fake is also called shallow fake. Now, most of the videos that I am showing to you are cheap fake or shallow fake for two reasons. One, I do not want to be caught by law because creating a deep fake video is prohibited. But cheap fake video abhi tak ban nahi hai. We see a lot of cheap fake video. Cheap fake and shallow fake can be done without the knowledge of a coding. So you even don't require that's where it gets very dangerous. You don't require to be a computer engineering student. I am a person of English literature who studied Wordsworth and Coleridge and all, but I can make cheap fake or shallow fake very easily. Likewise, there is face swap technology. I would show the example of each. And the last one is a text fake. So ChatGPT and other text assistants are the text fake. They claim to answer you, but their answer is not coming from them. Their answer is coming from metadata. So yesterday itself, I tried asking ChatGPT a question, and it answered me very honestly, transparently, like Turnitin it answered without plagiarizing. It answered me, as of now, the data that I have is of 2022, and I'm answering you from that. But then it is a text fake. Now, why is so many people are speaking against deepfake? Because when war comes, today's war has changed the nature. We don't talk about nuclear stockpile. One hacker sitting in one corner of the world can hack the entire system and paralyze the political system. So between ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine, have seen so many instances, deepfake video, which was earlier released from Kremlin, Putin speaking something else, was shown as Putin announcing surrender. And then Google had to remove. Likewise, the deepfake video of Zelensky telling Ukrainians to surrender again surfaced, and again it was removed. The third picture is of a Kerala man who lost 40,000 in AI-based deepfake WhatsApp fraud. And every day we get so many. Abhi मैंने मेरा Facebook और Instagram दोनों meta verify कर दिया, because my own university page, Instagram page of Office of International Relations was hacked. Unfortunately, when people created that Instagram page, they did not do the double authentication process, and therefore it was very easily hacked, and people started playing PUBG over it. We tried and we tried to recover, we could not recover. And therefore, today we get so many requests from people. Let's say, for example, I'm friending with Professor Barad on social media, but again, I would see his request. And I would go to that page and try to find out how many common friends are there. And if I find only 5, I would consider this is a fake. In fact, I get emails from president of my university, Dr. Mukesh Ambani. No, but fake email, because he would not be bothered to write to me. So my point is, every day such scams are happening, and therefore we need to be extra cautious, extra careful. Universities need to arrange regular sessions about cyber scam and cyber fraud. So Kerala man lost 40,000 in AI-based deepfake WhatsApp fraud. And then, of course, there was the research poster symposia in my university, in which I dared for the first time to talk about deepfake. And I wanted to show the positive side of deepfake along with my research scholar Srishti Kushwaha, who is also attending this conference right now. She is online. So we both were super enthusiastic because we had worked on this project for last 2 months, and she had also prepared a hologram device. So we wanted to show the hologram device to people. But just the day when we wanted to do that, Rashmika Mandana's deepfake came. And what happened? People started viewing, you are talking, you're a director of a school, you're talking such a criminal activity. Deepfake is dangerous. I believe deepfake is dangerous, but deepfake is just because one deepfake video of a celebrity came, the entire technology is not wrong. Sachin Tendulkar opposed deepfake technology, and of course, Prime Minister Modi also opposed the deepfake technology. So there is some method in this opposition. These synthetic media can be used with the potential malicious intent. But so also any technology can be used with the malicious intent. We were talking about how people have opposed in past technology. It's not just deepfake technology. When calculators came, calculators were called weapons of mass destruction. We talk about weapons of mass destruction, but calculators were described as weapons of mass destruction. I don't know the current situation, but during my school days, the one subject that always puzzled me, and that's the reason why I turned to English, was maths. And when 10th exam came, people would tell me, this calculator you can carry and this calculator you cannot carry. Now, poor me, in entire year's work, I had only memorized 6 mark worth of sum. That was the only that I had decoded. And I thought that eternity I would never pass in mathematics. So without calculator, how do I pass? Because my counting ability is very poor. I still count my marks in my university like this. If my students are listening, don't listen. So I count like this, and then I tabulate, and my teachers tell me, you don't do that. You leave the counting to us, because invariably when you count like this, you would commit errors. So we have accepted calculator as a part of our lives. When wheels came, maybe people would have opposed wheels also. Abhi bhi hota hai na? In Mount Abu, if you go, they don't allow electronic vehicles, diesel and petrol vehicles. They say horses are good, which is good also. But I don't know, it's all gray area. When Motorola came up with the first generation phone, it was called a brick phone. Itna bada tha. And I remember my first phone that I had bought. It was as big as a cordless phone. It was as big as cordless phone, but I used to proudly display it in my home that I have the mobile phone. It was very big. It was this big. The first generation computer monitors that came, how stupid they looked like. When in America, tractors came for the first time, the farmers opposed. They said, no, tractor we cannot use because horses would lose their jobs. Likewise, ethical 3D printing. In my university, we have the state-of-art 3D printing center where 3D printing can be done. And if you visit Mahatma Gandhi Ashram archive, Sabarmati Ashram, you would see Gandhiji's charkha, spinning wheel, is 3D printed now. So if there is, let's say there is a screw here on this table, then you would find the screw there also in 3D print. It is a replica. You can 3D print gun also, mind well. So 3D printer, which is potential of even constructing the building from top to bottom. In Gulliver's Travels in the 4th voyage, the Academy of Lagado, this was a joke that there were scientists who were trying to create building from top to bottom. It can be created now. If you see the construction of bridges, they are exactly done like this. Upar se leverage karte hai. So ethical 3D printing, there are 9 ways in which 3D printing could aid criminals. Now what do? You cannot shut up everything. Smartphone radiation. We all have heard, but what we do, many times we keep our phone like this. We know that radiation is there, but I don't want to die before the death comes. And therefore I use mobile phone. I am a mythical Dr. Faustus who has sold my soul to smartphone. I cannot live without it. If I don't get a charger, I would become depressed. So the point is, smartphone spreads radiation, but that's okay. I'm ready to buy radiation in order to see 3 more web series on Netflix. So that's when we invented Bhabha Atomic Center, BARC, and we gave the radiation kit to students. that you go in campus and try to find out where the radiation is maximum. So we have a lot of centers where the research instruments are kept. So we thought our building is very small building. We call it D block, School of Liberal Studies. एक छोटा सा हमारा आशियाना है. Arts वाले ऐसे ही रहते हैं. And if you go to erstwhile Department of English, it was very scenic. Marigold garden was there behind our department, and it was old hut-like building. So we have that building, and we thought we are very safe. So the students went around in the campus, trying to find out radiation, and they came back and told, "Sir," I said, "What happened?" "No, maximum radiation is there in our building." So I said, "What is liberal arts doing in spreading radiation?" But agreed, because the solar towers are there. Sorry, yes, the towers are there, mobile towers are there, and therefore the radiation is maximum. So the radiation is a part of our lives. We have not stopped using mobile phones because of that reason. Now, deepfake technology can be used for the positive purpose also, as in David Beckham, Synthesia. They came up with a video in which David Beckham talk about prevention of malaria in just one language only. And then his deepfake video was created in which he spoke in multiple language. He was shown speaking multiple language. I would show you the video. He only spoke one language.
Malaria isn't just any disease. It's the deadliest disease there's ever been.
Se dice que ha matado más de la mitad de la población que ha existido. وما زالت طفلا بكل دقيقة من الفضول nous avons la possibilité. हमें और अधिक कार्रवाई की जरूरत है.
我们需要让世界引导人关注. Hivyo tunazindua kampeni ya sauti.
Umwele bawal ni malaria.
Speak up and say, malaria must. One voice can be powerful, but all of our voices together. Then they will have to listen. Malaria must die, so millions can live.
So an awareness message was created. It is not possible that I speak all languages. But at the same time, when Sam Pitroda wrote years back, he discounted the theory of teacher-student ratio, which we many times debate in academia. How many teachers should there be with students? And Bhavanagar University has always been very exclusive from my time. There is only one teacher. But one teacher is always very good, rather than having 10 poor teachers. And therefore, Sam Pitroda said that with today's technology, we don't require 100 teachers to teach 1,000 students. We require one good teacher to teach 1 lakh students. And you would all agree with me, because we experience this trauma in class every day. And therefore, my point is this, that when a teacher can speak multiple languages, why not to leverage this platform? The very recent movie, Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford was de-aged by 40 years through face swapping technology and deepfake technology. I would show you the video how it was done.
You mean that Air Force fiasco at 47? You're here early. I'm just
time, so I'm skipping. Salvador Dali. Now, there is a museum in Florida in which you go, Dali would take selfie with you. How about that? If you visit, and Dr. Mishra had visited and seen the painting of Mona Lisa. Now, she was not that lucky. Otherwise, Mona Lisa would have taken a selfie with her. So I'll show you how it goes.
I, Salvador Felipe Jacinto Dalí, have shown you this marvelous collection of my works. You are welcome, and you may come again. Before you leave, you will take a picture with me?
Yes.
Alors, allow me. 1, 2, tres. Ah, very nice. Ooh la la. Would you like to send you this dream photograph?
Actually send the photograph. How about that? It's very good. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was my college time superhero because Western songs were not that popular. You either had carpenters singing the old genre, or you had the country songs. But Michael Jackson and George Michael, they were the heartthrobs. I used to play very loud songs in my Bhavnagar home just to convince people that I study English. So Michael Jackson songs were, I genuinely liked. Now, how about Michael Jackson performing today, even when he is no more with us? So this has actually happened, where hologram Michael Jackson concert took place. Sorry. You actually don't require old Michael Jackson videos. You can make Michael Jackson sing and dance for you on Hindi songs also. Prabhu Deva's role is in danger. Okay, there was, no, that was solo. It was dance. What about in American Idol, Elvis Presley was brought alive with a actual human being singing, and the duet was sung by Elvis Presley. This was done when the singer first time came and she sang all alone, and her lip syncing and everything was done, what song she is singing. Then and another person was brought who was not Elvis Presley. He also sang with her, and his movements were captured. Then Elvis Presley's sound was captured. Then Elvis Presley's face movements were captured, and all were merged, in which Elvis Presley came alive and sang the duet.
There must be light burning somewhere. That to the birds flying higher in the sky all blue.
Disha, she was gifted on her birthday the video of her father who was no more, and he wished her the happy birthday, and she took to all the social media and said, this is the best gift that I ever got. Just think about, I lost my parents who belonged to Bhavnagar, both were in academia, but during that time we did not have a lot many video recording facility. We had to call the videographer, and we had to record. So I always have this regret that I have old fashioned photograph, blurry photographs, but I do not have any videos with my parents. Now, if suddenly one day my parents pass away and there is an emotional vacuum, which many of us feel, what about voice banking our parents? There's a concept called voice banking. Right now, my voice is working. So I use my voice and I train the artificial intelligent agent to record my voice and mimic my voice exactly with my punctuations and with my Bhavnagari accent. And it would do, and then my video would be coming alive. My child would be able to relive moments with me. What is wrong? Talking about literature, there there is a lot of co-authorship because the other speakers are going to speak. So Professor Barrett cautioned me when I was just showing. He said, no, we are going to use this. My point is this only, that verse by verse allows you to write like Walt Whitman or like Robert Frost. All that you need to do is just to give a command and then you can write along with that. This one is very interesting. Chat with anyone from past. So I tried this. I always had this because I teach Iliad to my students in paper of world literature. So in Iliad, when Achilles gives Briseis, at that time he addresses her as war trophy. Calling a woman a war trophy is something that I was not convinced. So I thought, like Dr. Postus, that if I ever had a chance of questioning the mythical hero, I would ask, how dare you call a woman a war trophy? So this is my dialogue with the legendary character Achilles. You can see my name. So I intentionally wanted to break the barrier and address Achilles in a very informal manner. Hi, Achilles, I said. And then this is the answer. He gives you a wry smile, his expression mocking and amused. He speaks with a rich baritone voice, deep and dissonant. Now imagine, so you caught me. He stands upright and his tall lean from towering over you and his eyes glitter in sunlight and his hair shining. And I'm asking, why did you address Briseis as war trophy? Isn't that bad to call a woman a trophy? Now he answers me. He looks thoughtful for a moment and he considers your question. Perhaps I did come across as somewhat insensitive and arrogant. But she's a Trojan woman, and I killed her husband on the battlefield. She was at my mercy, the spoils of war. Would you have preferred me to be brute and kill her instead? He seems genuinely intrigued by your inquiry. Now, this is wonderful, isn't it? We never get an opportunity to question the characters from past. If we get an opportunity to see their own inside thinking pattern, even with AI, I would be happy because it provides me a fresh perspective. Rethinking literature, reimagining literature. There are synthetic voice applications for navigation also. So seeing AI is a talking camera for the blind. It is somewhat the unique transformation of the voice navigation that we have. But it is only meant for the blind people, in which the blind person can carry the camera and then move, and the seeing AI would guide the person regarding what obstacles are coming in the way. Likewise, there is this Lookout app. The Lookout app would tell the visually impaired person that this object is red in color. Now imagine a visually impaired person looking at apple for the first time, and this person doesn't know that apple is of red color. So the Lookout app would describe the color and the texture and everything for the blind people, making their lives somewhat more inclusive. Likewise, this one is very interesting. There is a disease, ALS, in which the person suddenly loses the body ability. Now, that's not within your and my control. I am standing in front of you and I'm talking right now. My voice is intact, my feet are intact, my hands are intact. But tomorrow I can become victim to this vulnerable disease where one by one my body muscles would stop functioning. And the worst side is I would lose my voice. So I would want to speak, but I would not be able to speak. Now, there is a concept called voice banking, in which my voice sampling would be captured. And then if somebody asks me a question, I would type, or I would make someone type, and then my voice would speak. So in a way, your voice remains intact, something that humanity has been trying to do since long. Immortality. It's a virtual immortality that we are striving for. There was a question asked to me, one of the people who asked me questions was this also, how the deepfake can be used positively in literature. Now, there are museums in which the holograms of the Holocaust survivors are kept. So instead of merely seeing the photograph, let's say partition Holocaust, we have all read Sahadat Hasan Manto. Devang is here. Devang had worked on the partition literature. So how about the partition victims telling us their own stories, hologram story, which is a fake, but it is still better than the static pages. Animation is always good. We are visually oriented and visually guided. And therefore, these are there when the Holocaust survivors are talking about their survival. Likewise, HoloLens is a concept where they talk about VR, AR, and MR. MR is a mixed reality. Through mixed reality, you can handle human anatomy without any risk for the budding doctors. It is fake, but it is still very helpful because they actually experiment with us. Likewise, the machinery, heavyweight machinery, we have a simulation center in my university where the oil rig activities are shown. Now, it is very risky, but at the same time, if you do it through the 3D artifact first, you tend to be more successful. There are now on Instagram virtual influencers. So this one is a deep fake. Now she has about 2.6 million followers on Instagram. And they know because here it is written only, her identity is written that it is a fake identity, but still people are following. So who knows, in the days to come, influencers would be AI, influencers would be the fake. To sum up, what are the possible positive use of the synthetic media? One, deepfake videos from the old photo albums of the loved ones. Now, this, my research scholar Sushti and I are evaluating this in the form of literature for children. Many parents have today lost the ability of telling stories to the children. They cannot tell a story. The way my parents used to tell me a story, they cannot tell story. Now, there are many people who are working, both husband and wife. There are many families where there is a single parent family and the single parent is working. Now, you only have two options. One, you entrust your child to a babysitter or to Alexa, or second, you record your own voice and you use your own photograph. The child would feel cognitive association with a mother. If the artificially prepared mother also tells the story to a child, how about that? I believe it is far better than Siri telling me a story, because there I do not have a control. Second one is a multi-language videos for the ethical promotions. The third one is a virtual concerts. In fact, ABBA karke band hai. They do their virtual concerts everywhere. Singers who are no more. So we can bring alive the singers whom we cherished for a very long period of time, and they can come and sing in front of us. Educational purpose, where autobiographical contents are made more authentic with deepfake videos of the authors, with original message from the books. I'm not saying you distort the message. You keep the original message, but you make Ruskin Bond talk about his own autobiography. It would look far more convincing to me than Nigam Dave talking about Ruskin Bond, because that's how we empathize with the literary works. More identifiable chatbots. I mean, you are there. What about artificially intelligent assistant like Siri answering you and Professor Bharat's chatbot answering you? Which one would you endorse? I mean, you are emotionally inclined to your teacher, and therefore your teacher's virtual avatar answering you would give you Eklavya. Eklavya ka bhi wahi tha, no? It was almost deepfake. He studied in this first distance education student. Likewise, surrogate parents. Surrogate parents is something what I told you, the deepfake video, parents telling the stories to children. Election campaigns with multiple hologram representing a speaker simultaneously. Mr. Modi tried that out in one of the elections. Hologram. At 7 places parallelly, Mr. Modi would be talking in different language, but he would be present. But he is not present. His hologram is present. Likewise, medical treatments. This can be path-breaking. And forensic reconstruction, how the crime was committed. So they create the deepfake video of how the crime was created and they investigate. These are the, I mean, one video is there during COVID time when I used to teach, consistently sitting in my office, and half of the students not even opening the video camera, and I never knew whether they existed or not. But still, teachers, teachers are habituated to professional insult, and therefore we kept on teaching believing that the students are there. And therefore one day I wanted to experiment, and I created my robotic avatar, where I would be speaking, my voice would be speaking, but the robotic avatar would come up with animation. And I used to measure the insights How many students are reading this? I mean, technology is technology. Just to be on a humorous side, before I end, during COVID time, I prepared 4 videos of Vishad Yoga and Sankhya Yoga Bhagavad Gita for my students. And they did not know. They considered me very poor in technology. So they thought, if we don't watch, who is going to catch us? But every day in Insights, I have my professional YouTube account. So every day I would go and monitor the Insights. And I saw that students, hardly 10, 15 students had seen the video. And then came the day of examination. And my university had taken enough care. Now I can say this, otherwise I would lose my job. But my university had taken enough care, AI-enabled monitoring, invigilating, where even if an student looks here and there in the camera frame, the student would be caught, and a teacher would say, no, no, don't do it, don't look down, etc., etc. So we thought we were foolproof. But I knew that we were not foolproof. So I intentionally started late from my home when my paper was there. And I kept YouTube Insight all live. And I saw when the paper started, the views from 15, it shot up to 475 views during the course of the paper itself. So YouTube, now would you blame YouTube? Would you blame Nigam Dave? Would you blame PDU? It's the malicious intention of people that changes the technology. So on this note, I do believe that we need to exercise a lot of caution. And there are ways of identifying. People copy somebody else's content, but we have come up with applications, turn it in. AI catches the AI-enabled content today. So a lot many things are available. Just because something doesn't do what you planned it to do, doesn't mean that it is useless. That's my only appeal to you. Whenever new technology comes, just try to investigate. Questioning is something that we all require to do in all walks of life before rejecting and accepting. If you want to still reject, God bless you. If you want to accept, God bless you. But don't come up with a preconceived notion that something is bad because everybody else is saying. I thank Maharaja Krishna Kumar Siji Bhavnagar University. My university name got changed. This university name also got changed. So I find it slightly difficult to pronounce the entire name. During my time, it was only Bhavnagar University. So I thank the Department of English for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to come back and discuss things with young students. I want to keep this.
Thank you.
So there were
thank you.
questions asked to me.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Dave. It was wonderful, mesmerizing. I think it is a very wonderful
Even from people.
information for the students. Students can share the questions.
I think I had got
Are we,
question from Dr. Diksha.
yeah.
If Dr. Diksha is present here. The question was this. I wanted to show the question also. The question did, hello, professor, considering the complicit activities beyond one's nerve is fine. I mean, my persona beyond my body is fine. But what about nations like Saudi that have bestowed the nationality to a robot, Sophia? We need post-humanism, but who will decide to what extent? I hope you have understood the question. Let me try answering this question. I'm not an expert of AI, so that's the first disclaimer. I'm a learner, and something that is generating a lot of noise, I study that first. So Mark Weiss argued that the ultimate form of computers is always an extension of our subconscious. So computer is nothing but our own replica, but with a flat screen. To him, the ideal computer would be capable of truly understanding people's unconscious minds and desires. Instead of humans adapting to technology and learning how to use it, it would be the technology that would adapt to disposition and uniqueness of each human being. See, it is true today. What is deep learning and machine learning? Who is doing the deep learning and machine learning? Computers are doing it. What they are doing, you have all noticed that if you just, my phone is right now, I have stopped mobile connectivity because I did not want to be disturbed. But even if you have a smart television in your home, try this in a hibernated form or in a switched off form, or my Google Assistant or Siri or Bing is not listening to me, I would speak aloud 4 times. I have a smartwatch. I would speak, I want to buy real estate property. I want to buy real estate property. Speak it 4 or 5 times. Next day, you would start seeing on Facebook and Instagram the advertisements. So we are not as safe as we think we are. And therefore, computers are learning. The only difference when I started using internet during the day of Yahoo and Hotbot and Lycos, these were the search engine. Google was not born. And going to cyber cafe cost you 80 rupees per hour. At that time, we used to search for products. Today, I don't need to do that. Products search for me. So we are in a different technology. We don't need to be afraid of post-humanism because we are still going to be relevant. Even at the height of tech revolution, human would not be obsolete, but rather would come in loop. It is called a human in a loop. So there is a term that my research scholar informed me about. It is called HCPS 2.0, which stands for Human Cyber Physical Interface. Human is still there. So human is not removed. And therefore, my only last question on a slightly humorous side, why should humans only decide how things should be? We carried our, haven't we carried our anthropocentrism too far beyond limits? Sometimes change decides the world order. Dinosaurs were more powerful than us. Did dinosaur complain that ye mini dinosaur kahan se aa gaye? Courtroom mein, court hall mein, talking about AI and deepfake. Change is inevitable. So that is my first answer. The second question was by Datri Parmar. How can deepfakes be used to spread misinformation and manipulate public opinions? How can the erosion of trust in visual evidence due to deepfakes impact journalism and historical record keeping? I think we all know what it is potentially capable of. We all read. My son, he doesn't read newspapers. He only reads shorts. And sometimes to impress me, he would send shorts and say, do you know about it? I would investigate. Have you read the full news? I would ask you a question from within. My point is we read and we accept. WhatsApp forward is what? Half of WhatsApp forward are wrong. Somebody has passed away. Today, Mr. Modi is going to announce, Mr. Modi is going to announce something spectacular. And I stopped my working and started the computer. Kya ho raha hai? Dusri baar note ban ho raha hai, to zara dhyan rakh le. But my point is, all these are fake. But we are coexisting with fake news. And no news channel, media might feel offended, no news channel is thoroughly neutral. This is a common person's perspective. I'm not a technical person. I'm not in journalism. But I believe I take everything with a pinch of salt. So we need to be cautious with such use. Namrata Rasikbhai Gohil. The question was, how might value-neutral deepfakes contribute to advancement in entertainment and media? I have already answered, I hope, during the course of my presentation. But movies can benefit a great deal because movies have already been using this synthetic media since quite a long time. In fact, movies were the first to come up with the concept of remix. So remix is what? Remix is also, in a way, it is going beyond the copyright. But still we have allowed. Ayushi Sharma's question was, how can the concept of value neutrality in deepfake be liberated to navigate ethical complexities across diverse creative medium within the metaverse? Now, this is very complicated. Metaverse is in itself fake. So if you buy fake, would I mean, no offense meant. If I buy a cigarette and say, is this cigarette ethical? Is it going to add to my overall longevity of life? No, it is not. I know perfectly well that I'm committing a crime. I have purchased the poison. I'm smoking cigarette and then I expect that cigarette should not hurt me. Aisa nahi hoga. So metaverse is something where the virtual identity in a virtual world is created. However, there is a safe way out, something that is called cryptographic blockchain technology, in which there is a stamp. That's how the blockchain works in crypto technology. And therefore, still in metaverse, if the considered ethical agent is using the cryptographic blockchain stamp, then you are safe. There was a question from Jill Barrett in asking, what is the two questions? One I'm not answering. How do you address the concern about consent and privacy, particularly when using individuals' likeness about their explicit permission? I think it is you. Where is Jill? Okay, no problem. My question is, why are you worried about privacy and your likeness when you are already using mobile phone? When you use mobile phone, you have believed that your privacy is at stake. And many a times when we download applications, it sends us a lot of detailed disclaimers, but we don't read. Immediately to use, we press yes, okay. So in half of the applications in my mobile phone would be tracing me. So I am not as unique an individual as I used to be before the advent of mobile phones and social media. So our information is already there. The famous documentary Netflix, Social Dilemma. Now, Social Dilemma was all about this, that we are traced at every step in our life. What we are eating, with whom we are eating, where we are eating, which movie we are watching, in which theater we are watching, what type of movies we watch, what web series we start and leave half complete. All algorithms are studied. And therefore, there is nothing like privacy. So let us understand there is nothing like privacy, except in banking right now. WhatsApp claims that it is end-to-end encrypted, but still I doubt. Many times people say that WhatsApp details have been leaked. But another question is very interesting, in which it is asked, how do cultural and societal norms influence perceptions of value neutrality regarding deepfakes? Are there differences in attitudes toward deepfakes across different regions or demographic groups? Meaning, which country or which age group accepts or uses deepfake more than others? The answer is simple. Younger generation below 20 is more neutral about technology than somebody like me, because I'm already blocked because of my age. And therefore the younger people, and that's the relevance, compliments to the university for conducting a seminar like this, where younger people must be taught that technology can aid. In terms of which countries, I have the statistics. I thought that it would be visible properly, but the size I have mistaken. But if you see on the right hand side, the explosive growth of AI powered fraud, you would see in South Asian countries, it is penetrating more. Ironically, because we thought that the developed countries would be using AI more, they are using AI more, but we are using AI more for wrong purpose. So that's the problem. But I believe that below 20 age group is using AI very heavily. Vipul Davis question, please provide your perspective on this matter. How can deepfake technology be employed to address historical inaccuracies or gaps in representation while avoiding distortion or manipulation of historic narratives? Now, this is as complicated as Satyam Vada, Priyam Vada. Both cannot be done. But if you really want to take the answer, the cryptographic technique of blockchain can point out the historical inaccuracies, where a historical character, Hitler, would come and say, you believe that I was wrong? No, let me present my side of a story to you. And then you get a fresh perspective, right? And therefore, but it has to be, it ultimately, who is filtering it? You are filtering it. So you have to decide. Asha, this question, two questions were there. To what extent deepfakes are morally justifiable? If justifiable, then what kind of regulations and legal frameworks are required? And the second one, if deepfake presented with different ideologies, what would be the positive and negative impact it would have on shaping the minds of people? I always believe that people say that creative autonomy and freedom of expression is there. If I want to create something that is disturbing to you, don't come on my wall. When did I invite you that you please be friend with me on Facebook? You don't come and comment on my post. It's my life. As long as I am not trespassing your privacy, whatever I want to do, I should be allowed. So my activity should not be blocking the rights and privacy of somebody else. But otherwise, I have a freedom of expression. Cartoons, political cartoons, people enjoy. Even the politicians enjoy. Balasaheb Thackeray himself was a good cartoonist. So my point is, creative autonomy of expression should always be there. And the second question is, rather, I would say that double opinion, that deepfake are potentially dangerous and deepfake are very good, can encourage critical thinking on the side of user. I'm sure that today when you would go home, now next time if somebody talks about deepfake, you would be slightly more cautious than before. in evaluating deepfake. So it encourages critical thinking when two dual perspectives are presented. And the last question was, how do you reconcile the positive implications of deepfake with the potential to exacerbate issues such as misinformation and identity theft? I think value neutrality is that only. However, robust legal mechanism and stronger encryption is always needed to safeguard the users in the cyber world. So these were the only questions that came to me. I again thank the organizers. There is an economy of time, but I'm sure that Professor Bharat would have ensured that if there are further questions, the further questions can be sent to the speakers, and speakers would always be open to answer. I do not want to take more time of other speakers. Thank you very much to the online listeners, because listening to such a long lecture online is ये तो सब फंसे हुए हैं, सामने आकर बैठे हैं. But you had the freedom to drive and listen. So thank you to you first, and my honest thanks to the chairperson for guiding me throughout. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, there is one question, if I can ask. Can you hear me?
Thank you, sir, for your insights into the intricacies of deepfakes, synthetic media, and their implications to our society and culture at large. Now, I request Professor Parul Mishra ma'am to share her feedback with us.
So, am I audible? So, there was one question actually left for sir. It's fine if he's not there. So I would really like to thank Sir Professor Dave for sharing actual, showering the knowledge of AI, where people now consider AI not in a very good manner. They think that AI is going to, affect the critical thinking and many other things, especially in literature. For English studies, we often question that how AI is going to help us, or where will the critical thinking go, and how is this going to improve the skill, or dull the skill. Anyways, I would like to thank that and summarize what sir has shared. So he started with the explaining what is I and AI, and giving a reference to Mahabharat. He shared the inquisitive nature of human beings and how deep fake came into existence. And he even shared that right now there is a lot of negative use of deep fake, but when we delve deep into the knowledge, we come to know that actually technology is not only meant for ill use or abuse. So something new is always there to understand and accept with the technology. And he quoted Dr. Foster's, he quoted Helen, he quoted by saying that when Foster's Marlowe writes about Helen, uh, when Dr. Foster's was saying that is this the face that topple the education. So the same way he also quoted here, and he wanted to share that it's not that AI is going to give a wrong impression to public and the education sectors. So he also threw light on chatbot, use of chatbot, and three M's by Professor Thompson. He quoted Mother Nature changing, the market is changing, and Moore's law also he claimed. So technology is changing the spectrum of the spectrum of education and many other fields also. And so much that future cannot be decided at the moment. Right now, when you're studying, you cannot decide your future. So you have to be updated with the AI, with the technology, and many other changes. So we have to keep up the concept of fake, deep fakes, concept of fake identity. And he also shared that the thing was the concept of impersonation is not new; it is from the past. He shared the anecdote of Chavan Rishi and the story behind that. And coming to the value neutrality, he quoted, politics is not a dirty game. The players who play, they make it dirty or they handle it in a dirty way. And same way he quoted, the knife that kills people is not wrong. It is the people who use it in a wrong manner. So it was a very long, very informative, very mesmerizing session. One would go on listening to Mr. Dave, I think, Professor Dave. So thank you so much. That was my feedback for the session. Thank you so much.
Now, to express our sincere gratitude, I request Professor Dr. Dilip Bharat, sir, to present a memento to our esteemed speaker, Professor Dr. Nigam Dave, sir. Please, sir. I also would like to request Dr. Dilip Bharat, sir, to facilitate Parul Mishra ma'am verbally. So, over to you, sir.
Professor Parul Mishra, madam has joined from Jaipur. She is working
Yeah.
with MIT University, Rajasthan. So, madam, we are very thankful to you also for sparing some time and being a chairperson in this session. Okay? Thank you very much to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all for your active participation in the first session. We are concluding, and for the next session, I would like to invite Ms. Megha Trivedi to proceed with the second session. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon to all. Thank you, Ms. Kavisha. For the second session of the day, we have Dr. Richa Mishra, ma'am, with us, and Professor Velur Rahman, sir, as the chairperson of this session. Sir is online with us. So first, now I would like to give brief introduction about Professor Velur Rahman, sir. Professor Velur Rahman sir is an associate professor in the Department of English, Lovely Professional University, Punjab. Earlier, he worked as an assistant professor at Madhav Institute of Technology and Science, Gwalior, India. Assistant Professor of English at Central University of Rajasthan, Ajmer, and Associate Professor of the Media and Communication at Manipal University, Jaipur, India. His research areas include literary theory and criticism, cognitive literary and the film analysis, humanities inspired technology, human communication and social media, and digital humanities. He engages himself as a transdisciplinary researcher in the world literature intersected with the technology and the cognitive science, author of 6 books and the various research papers and the chapters. He has delivered 74 expert lectures at the various institutes of the higher education in India and abroad. He developed 5 modules for the MHRD EPG Patsala projects. Sir, we heartily welcome you. And now I request Professor Rehman sir for formally introduce Dr. Richa Mishra ma'am to all the participants. Please, sir.
Thank you very much for the invitation. And I'm very much thankful to Professor Bharat to organize and host this important conference, the conference on digital humanities, the emerging area. In today's session, Dr. Richa Mishra is going to speak on various aspects of digital humanities, the tools and techniques being used in the practices of digital humanities. I have also gone through the questions, right, have been put forth by the listeners, the audiences, and hopeful that this lecture is going to respond to each one of the questions. Dr. Richa Mishra is an associate professor at Nirma University. She has published 5 books. She is a well-known person in Indian digital humanities, if I would use the phrase Indian digital humanities. Uh, she has been recently working with international organizations in that field too. And the topic which she has chosen really required for the scholars of this time. And with these words, would like to invite her over to you, sir, ma'am. Dr. Richa Mishra, please.
I will now hand over the stage to Dr. Richa Mishra, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Where is my slide? Question answers, then I think the list is there, so I will use that. Sure. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We are about to break into noon now. It was such a beautiful, wonderful, and very, very informative lecture from Nigam Dave sir. We all look up to him. He's our mentor. He's mentor of Nirma. He's our champion, and I always, always go to him whenever we try to do something. In humanities, and he always the support is always there. So this talk is going to be very boring, basically, but the thing is, sometimes what you need is not sometimes what you want is very entertaining, sometimes what you need is not very entertaining, but still you need it and you have to accept it. um, I'm going to talk about engaging with digital humanities tools, techniques, and scope. And very quickly, let me ask, how many of you already know about DH? Please raise your hands. Okay. None. Have you heard of digital humanities? Raise your hands. Okay. Okay. Um, so this is a very, very new to. How many of you want to go into digital humanities? Okay. Very, very few takers. So basically, I will start. I will try to build up the case, why it is important, why it is needed, why we are doing what we are doing, basically. So we are digital humanities immigrants. Me, Bharat sir, Nigam Dave sir, and many more. You are going to be the generation who are going to be the natives. Basically, we hope that many of you will get into this and start doing it. Now, one of the very, very unfortunate thing with digital humanities is, though we keep on calling it digital humanities, it is there in humanities department. Many of the active researchers are from computer science. Now, because it is actually based lot on tools and techniques, basically. So it looks very difficult, but it is not actually. We can do, there are hacks which we can do. There are no coding apps which we can use. So basically, let's start with that it is, um, you can actually do it. So I call myself a muggle. I teach in Nirma University. We are Department of Humanities and Social Sciences. It's a good department. 22 people are there. We teach various courses. Now we are teaching to engineering students day in and day out since so many years. I call myself muggle because when I sit, during meetings, I am the only one who is from humanities, and rest of them are from engineering background, and they are talking about semiconductors, circuits, AI and cybersecurity and cyber physical lab, and those kind of things. So so it so I was the one who was the outsider, uh, always there, who was not understanding. And then I thought, why not to get into it and try to understand what they are talking about, and started with this. So I'm still a muggle, basically. um, but I am trying to do a lot of projects now. One of the thing is, because I teach in engineering college, I'm not a theorist. One of the second unfortunate thing is that most of the digital humanities, especially in India, people, they are theorizing it, they're not using it. The practical application is not there, because they can't do the digital things. They basically theorize it. They are mostly, they critique, basically. I am not a theorist, I am not a critique. I basically use it, and we are trying to do little bit, we are trying to build our knowledge, and we are trying to create
digital humanist groups, research groups, who are doing small projects. And then we are trying to see that whether this will work. So basically, it is more of knowing by doing kind of thing. So DH moved beyond the privileging of the textual, emphasizing graphical methods of knowledge production and organization, design as an integral component of research, transmedia crisscrossing. So it is multimodal. Sir has shown us a lot of examples of transmedia where the audio, visual, textual things are integrated together, and an expanded concept of the sensorium humanist knowledge, characterized by an intensified focus on building tools, environments, and platforms for collaborative scholarly work. So, what I will do is, because going to be a little technical, I will try to use examples so that you can connect the real life examples. Okay. So, when we are talking about environment, metaverse is one of the environment which people try to create actually. Okay. And platforms also, avatars are the environment which we try to create, and platforms for collaborative scholarly work, and an emphasis upon curation as a defining feature of scholarly practice. So curation is so you know what curation is. Curation is taking out things, relevant thing and putting them together. So basically, digital humanities started with librarians. They started doing this. So I was in Oxford in 2022, and Oxford has got the biggest library called Bodleian Library, and Britishers, they have stolen everything from every place, so there were so many original manuscripts, everything was there, and they are trying to build a lot of, so they do a lot of digital scholarship basically. So it started with that. Digital librarians basically started digital scholarship, and now it has come to us, but now the computer people are also there. um, so we need to basically claim it back actually. uh, so someone asked me, can you talk about the origin and the history and everything? So I thought, let me just talk about few main major figures in digital humanities history. So it started with Father Musa actually, and he was a priest who in 1949 embarked on a project to create the first digital concordance of the works of Saint Thomas. Now, concordance was, he was trying to correlate the meaning, so one of the example is which, so is going to be little rambling kind of thing. So one of the example is like, if you do analysis of any gender, if you do analysis of Punjabi songs, we were talking about this, yesterday. So if you do analysis of Punjabi songs, the correlation is daru, kudi, car. So these are the most frequent words, and how they are like placed. So if you do 10 songs and then 100 and 1000 songs, you will see these are the most common correlated words. The kudi is there, and the bhangra is there, and the daru is there, and the bottle is there. So these are the words which are occurring very frequently. So this is one of the example actually. So he did this. So Father Busa was not as shallow as I am doing on Punjabi songs, but so he did on this. And then the another digital humanist was Willard McCarthy, and he's credited with coining the term digital humanities. It was actually computing humanities, and then he said no, it should be digital humanities, leading its integration into teaching and research practices. Then there was Franco Moratti, and he was a renowned cultural theorist. Now, many of us, I believe in this, maybe you will not, many of us have started calling language, language research as cultural research, because language is associated with culture. We know that. So the integration is there. So language studies are basically now cultural studies. A lot of cultural studies are happening. So digital humanities works very well if you want to do a lot of cultural studies, social linguistic study kind of things. So he's known for introducing distant reading. Now, what is distant reading? So when I was talking about the Punjabi song, if I tell you, can you do analysis of these Punjabi songs? So in one semester, maybe you will be able to do 50 or maybe 25. Okay, deconstruction and everything. But with distant reading, with digital humanities, what I can do is I can do analysis of 3 lakh songs, because I have trained AI, and AI is doing it for me. So so close reading is when I am doing the reading, I, as the analyzer, is there, and I am adding my experiences, um, my thoughts, my opinions, my theoretical framework, and everything. But distance, so that is close reading basically. And distance reading is when the data set is huge and you are trying to see the pattern and trends and how their relation is there, the correlations and everything. So that is distant reading. Now, one of the major concern with humanities, the pure humanities people, are that distant reality is basically not literary habit. Uh, you are asking AI to do reading for you, AI to come out with the results. But I think for me, it works well, because if I'm able to do only 10 pieces, I would rather do 1000 pieces and try to see the bigger picture than a very small picture. So basically, close reading is a small picture, and distant reading basically can be a very, very huge, big picture. Then there was Johanna Drucker, and she's a scholar and visual theorist who has significantly contributed to the understanding of graphical representation and visual design in digital humanities research. Long back, I did a very small project with someone from University of Pretoria, South Africa, and we did on basically memes and during COVID times. And we also did on jokes, actually, the visual jokes and how how women are portrayed there, basically. So again, the visual, can you do this? Yeah, the image recognition is there. There are a lot of tools where you can use actually those tools for image recognition, and you can do this graphical representations and visual design as well. And then Sir was talking a lot about new media. So new media is Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and those kind of Discord. So everything that will come under new media, and new media is evolving very fast. New media has taken over the old media, and old media was documentary, movies kind of thing. We are doing, so I keep on telling, because Sir told me that can you share a lot of projects which you are doing. So we are doing one project where we are trying to see how so what is the vernacular of Instagram. So Instagram works with hashtag, that. So how people associate death. So one of my friend is doing death studies, something on death studies, and we are trying to correlate the vernacular of death in new media, basically. So a media theorist whose work on new media and digital art has shaped the discourse on digital culture and its implications for the humanities. So he has talked about variability as well, where the deepfakes come in, and he has said ki you can have a picture and there can be many variations of those pictures. We know that you can, I do that. I remove my wrinkles and make myself brighter, and those kind of things I do. So those are the variations of my picture. So there can be like 100 kind of variations. Deepfake is one of the things. De-aging example was one of the thing. So that is what he has talked about. So these are the people, if you want to pursue digital humanities and you think this is, oh, it's very boring, I don't know what they're doing, why don't you Google these people down and see what they have done, and maybe you will get interested into visual representation, or maybe new media culture representation or something. So the advent of DH is due to major and irreversible, I call it singularity point, actually. So singularity point is point of no return. So if when you go to Antarctica, so helicopter, and they say now you are coming to point of no return because the fuel is not there now. So you can either go back or you can go forward, kind of. So singularity is basically, it's a point of no return, and we have reached into the point of no return. We cannot undo the technology now. Um, how many of you seen Netflix? Do you have Netflix, or you are okay? So there is a new series called Three Body Problem. Have you seen that? So Three Body Problem is where the aliens come here, and then they say, you are doing very well, so we are going to kill your physics. And so they started changing the particle accelerator. They start killing all the physics people, all the physicists. So they were trying to destroy the physics. They said, oh, you are actually moving very, very fast, and this is very scary for us. So again, the singularity is there. So paradigm shift, which is happening in the domain of humanities. The sources and the data is shifting from analog to digital. I'm going to talk about the analog and digital thing. This change is transforming the way a source text can be read, studied, interpreted, and collaborated. Sir has already talked about verse by verse. Sir has talked about a lot of cyber fiction is there, hypertext is there, e-lit is there, cell phone literature is there. In Japan, there is a this whole genre called cell phone literature, where people are just posting it there, kind of. So you can actually read it. So it's not there textually. The printouts are not there. It's digital born basically material. Thus, digital humanities emerges from academia's response to newly emerging digital technologies in computation. So it builds upon the idea that emerging technologies extend human capacities. Of course, it is extended. I can do. I can read thousands and thousands of books. Basically, I can put together thousands and thousands of books in one server. Basically, which was not possible because maybe in your library you will have 1,000 books. On my library there are like 1,000 books, but in e-libraries, there are thousands and thousands of books. So it has expanded our capabilities, exploring how these technologies affect human constructs, concerns, social relations, and the essence of being human. So basically, but then, so you must have heard of this, and that data is a new oil. So data was new oil in 1900s, but now data is new soil. And when I'm saying data is new soil, that means you can grow a lot of things actually. And we are trying to grow a lot of things and we are getting grants. So this is what we get to funded projects. DH operates on a data-driven approach, relying on content, data archives. So data archives is where you put things together, and archive it somewhere in your server and all, and then you can use it. Textual and audiovisual sources, and necessitating data-centric workflows to accommodate the expanding array of techniques in humanities research. So digital humanities basically is preserving, as well as it is education about human cultures, events, languages, people, and material production in the past and present in our digital environment. Now, one of the example I would love to give, I was given, we have got ICSSR project. So there is a place called Mangad here nearby. Have you heard of Mangad? It's called Adivasi Jallianwala Kand happened there. There were around 1,500 tribal people. They were killed by Britishers actually. The story is not very much known to the people. Now, one of the things I believe in is you need to be there on internet. If you are not there, so internet is a place where the knowledge is getting created, knowledge is getting propagated, it is getting amplified, it is getting analyzed, it is getting, you get representation there. So if you are not there on internet, you will fall off. So there will be a time when there will be things which are happening, but if they are not there on internet, you will not know about it. So this is what, with this intent, we are going to archive the story of Mangan, and we are going to make interactive map of the whole area and what happened, and with the animation and everything. And we got grant for that. So it's a multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary project. Basically, someone from tribal studies, someone from computer science, I am there, and someone from architecture. So we all came together and we are doing this project. So through the creation and use of dynamic tools to visualize and analyze data, share and annotate primary sources, discuss and publish findings, collaborate on research and teaching. So basically, this is the traditional research flow. This is what usually we do, and this is what we are doing right now. So the material is non-digital tools. These are books. Okay. The analysis is by non-digital tools. You use index, records, kind of. The debates are non-digital, where you sit together, panel discussions, face to face, kind of. And then you write the thesis, and the dissemination is also through the thesis. So print media, posters, radio, TV, films, etc. So basically, researcher created taped interview, field study notes, surveys on paper, and those kind of things. Now, DH research flow is different. So so there are three things basically. One is digitized, the second is born digital, and third is random reborn digital. So digitized is basically the books are there and you have scanned it. You have used OCR and the books are there. You must have seen those kind of books, newspapers or a lot of manuscripts, so they have, what they have done is they've clicked the pictures, they've scanned them, and they have archived it. So these are the digitized things. They are handed down or found, and documents, books, papers, etc. And then there are born digital. A lot of things which we are doing right now, they are born digital. We are creating it there, so the digital platform, we are using digital platform. Blogs, one of the example. Games, one of the example. Hypertext fiction, elit, basically. And then there are reborn digital, where again, you basically, it was there somewhere, and then you revive it, documentaries, etc., and then you revive it. Have you seen this thing on LinkedIn, comment for better reach? This, the algorithm works like this. So if there is a post of yours or on Facebook, how many of you are not on Facebook? Yeah, because you have moved away to the Instagram. So on Facebook, if there is a post of 2013 and someone comment there, it will again resurface, so it gets reborn basically. So this is what, so there are these three things are there. And so the materials are digital tools for collecting. Analysis is by using digital tools. Debate is research blogs, research wikis, preprint databases. A lot of work is done on Wikipedias as well, because wiki is born digital thing. And then dissemination. Oh, is this my? No. Dissemination, electronic publication, website, databases, etc. So text, so these are the techniques. So I am done with the preamble. So these are the techniques, what you can do with this. So data mining, text mining and analysis. So what is text mining? You take out a lot of text from the web. So there are a lot of tools, web scraping tools are there, and then you make a library of that and you can use it. So what we have done, like one of the project, we have taken, so we wanted to see what kind of language people use for obituaries. During COVID, Government of India, they created a memorial blog called In Memorial. Uh, it has got 480 entries actually, and people were told, because we were grieving, everyone was grieving, and there were not a lot of people to share our grief with, everything, people locked down and all. So people were posting it there. So you can post the pictures and you can write down about the person and what you are feeling right now. So we web scrape the entire thing, we turn it into a CVS file, and then we use Voyant and other text mining tools to see what kind of language people use, the word of values people put, he was very loved, honored, hard worker kind of thing, and also politics of death and gender analysis. We are doing a lot of things with the entire text. So you can create a data set and then you can use it multiple times for different kind of studies. You can have gender analysis there, you can have language analysis there, you can have critical discourses, so a lot of things can be done if you have got a data set. Now, one of the third unfortunate thing is, we do not have, in India, we do not have our own indigenous data sets. Whatever we are using is there on GitHub, and the data set mostly is called first principle. Data set mostly is American Western data set basically. So you do not get, so if you want to do a lot of, so we as a first generation DH people, we need to build our repository. We do not have data set of women poetry of women poets of Gujarat. So can we have a server? Can we do something where we, and then we digitize everything and we can put, so if we are doing that, you can actually work on the text. You can do the text mining, you can do the text analysis, and then you can understand, you can see what kind of trends were there, where they were writing, what kind of the areas were more rich, literature rich than other areas kind of thing. So these kind of interpretation can be done. So text mining is analyzing large bodies of text to identify patterns, themes, and trends using topic modeling, sentiment analysis, keyword extraction, and named entity recognition. Then data visualization, which I think we all are using, is pie chart and histogram and those kind of things. But then there are more complicated systems like WASViewer is there, Tableau is there, which you can, people appreciate it a lot. So if you know, if you have done a course on data visualization, you can get very good job in corporates as well, because most of the things are now about data and visualization, because data visualization is easy to understand basically. So this is one of the example. I love this example. So this was done on Hillary Clinton's speech. So when Hillary Clinton was running election against Trump, they did the 6 charts where they showed that how Hillary Clinton was addressed, and she was used. The words were used was bitch, ambitious, dinosaur, dragon kind of thing, and for so very negative words were used. So you can check this out. It's a very, very interesting. So positive, negative, neutral. So they did basically sentiment analysis, taken the data set of all the tweets, and then they have done this study. Now, geospatial analysis is which we are trying to do with the Mangar thing. Analyzing spatial data. Spatial data is the space data, So you can do basically one study of water sources in Bhavnagar. How many water sources were there in 1800s or 1900s, and now they are not there, kind of thing. You can go to libraries, you can try to understand the notings, the archives, and then you can make the data visualization can be done, and you can on the map there are tools, and you can show that these were the water sources and now they are not there, the river has moved, the river has disappeared, or something like that. So geospatial analysis is analyzing spatial data to explore geographical relationships, distributions, and patterns using techniques such as geography. So someone was talking about solo travelers, and that all of us want to be solo travelers, and it started happening after Kangana Ranaut's movie Queen. But solo traveling was always there. Mirabai was a solo traveler, and so I thought, why not to do something on that, and the area or the path she has taken, so you can even do something like that. Or Ramayana, you can have geospatial, the people have done work on that, so you can have analysis of that. Network analysis, analyzing networks of relationships and connections within humanities data using techniques. So if you have heard of bibliometric, it is basically network analysis. There are tools like VoiceWare and everything, where you can see and correlate the data. So corpus linguistic is analyzing large collections of textual data corpora to study language usage patterns and structures using techniques such as concordance analysis, collection analysis, and frequency analysis. Um, just a minute. So there is a thing called code switching. Have you heard of it? Code mixing. It is all Greek to us. Sometimes Greek is also good, We know that we do not know. So code switching basically is English, and where you speak in English and then you switch to Hindi. जैसे मैं बोलते बोलते अभी हिंदी में आ गई, लेकिन then I feel okay, fine. So what I'm doing is I'm code switching. एक लैंग्वेज से, so we do this very 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 often, कि हम हिंदी बोलते बोलते गुजराती बोले केम छो, and हाँ everything is fine. I'm code mixing. मैं लैंग्वेज को मिक्स कर रही हूँ. Now there is very interesting phenomena. ये आपको समझ आएगा थोड़ा सा, कि जब बहुत बार हम लोग इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं, लेकिन जब गाली देनी होती है तो हिंदी में देते हैं, और हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं और जब गाली देनी होती है तो इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं. हैव यू सीन दैट? स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस वो हिंदी में आपको जोक बता रहे हैं, फिर ये हुआ वो, और फिर वो इंग्लिश में एक दो वो एफ वर्ड वो सब यूज कर लेंगे. Now, this is very interesting socio-linguistic phenomena. Why we are doing it? What we try to show? हम पार दिखा रहे हैं, हम लैंग्वेज दिखा रहे हैं. Are we comfortable in that language? वो हमारे अंदर से आ रही है. So this is basically, this can be one of the. So we are doing actually a BTech student, third year student. She's doing audio recognition tool she's using for stand-up comedians in India, and how much they do code switch. And then there is a paper you can go and read. आपको समझ आएगा. Note down the paper. It is written by 5 IIT Kharagpur people and 1 Microsoft person. I can talk in English, लेकिन गाली तो मैं हिंदी में ही दूंगा. So there is this paper published on IEEE actually, where they have actually done the Twitter, they have taken the Twitter data and they have analyzed, but it is more on artificial intelligence. It is not more on social linguistic perspective. So you can add your perspective and you can try to understand why we are code mixing, why we are code switching. Then text encoding and markup is a totally very, very technical thing. TEI. So TEI is basically metadata, where people basically when they are typing, when they are making the metadata, so what you can see here, So there is metadata, which we can't see actually. So metadata will have it, author, it will have time, it will have date. Have you seen that? आप Word document को करते हैं, तो if you go to the properties, you will see the author, my name. So that is metadata basically. It's a very, very small, silly example of TEI kind of thing. But then TEI is a code which you have to use if you are creating metadata. Then this is topic modeling, and topic modeling is identifying latent topics and themes within textual data. So if you know about concept mapping, so topic modeling is that. So you put together this, you put together that. So we were doing. I do thoda sa work on galis, and so one of my paper got published in one of the Paris conference, and there is a forum called SLAT, and that is on swear language actually. And every year they come together and they talk about how the swear language or slang language is evolving. You know that. So queer was a word which was used as a gali in 1800s, and now queer is a very, very dignified word actually. You cannot take it as a derogatory word. So we are trying to again understand the history and the gender connotations there, and the insults which are used in India. So again, topic modeling is where you can put things, themes में आप कर सकते हैं. This is for male, this is for female, this is for animal, मूर्ख हो तुम kind of, so these are the neutral kind of things. So that is topic modeling actually. Then digital mapping and spatial humanities, जो मैं बात कर रही थी, creating interactive maps and spatial visualization to explore historical, cultural and geographical data using techniques such as digitization. So a friend of mine is doing on women markets. जैसे आपके यहाँ पर काड़ा तड़ाव is there. It's a women market. So she's making on women markets and how they used to be very, very protected areas actually, क्योंकि females ही रहती थी और females वहाँ पे shop करती थी. So she is using this digital, she is doing digital mapping of lot of women market in Ahmedabad actually. So you can make a static map, you can make dynamic map, animated, interactive map can also be there. Now, digital storytelling is narrative analysis is what most of us are interested in. Richa Shrishti works a lot on digital storytelling and narrative analysis, creating multimedia narratives and digital exhibitions to present and interpret humanities data using techniques such as digital storytelling platforms, interactive media, narrative analysis frameworks. So there are tools, animation tools, etc. are there. And then data curation and preservation, curating, and so libraries basically should do this. Basically, this is what they should be well versed with. Humanities and projects to long-term access and reuse using techniques such as metadata creation, data management, digital preservations, etc. So these are the tools. If you're interested in getting the metadata, if you're interested in getting the text, a lot of things are there called Hathi Trust. Now, Hathi is not the Hathi wala Hathi. It is HATHI. It's an integration collaboration of lot of universities in USA. So Hathi has got lot of archival textual data which you can use. They also suggest a lot of tools which you can use. They are no coding tools. So no coding tools matlab you don't need to do anything. You just need to install it and run it. There are a lot of tools which are web based as well. And then Tapur is also there. These are Canadian things. Now these are the tools. If you want to click picture, you can do that. But these are just the names. You have to Google it down. You have to download it to see if you are interested in working on these tools or not. So NConc is a freeware corpus analysis toolkit for again text analysis and all. Computer-aided textual markup and analysis is again tool for literary students. Juxta is again history of a text from manuscript to print versions. Juxta offers a number of possibilities for humanities, computing, and textual scholarship. Mallet is there, which is machine learning for language toolkit. It's a very, very good tool if you want to do little bit serious digital humanities scholarship. It's a Java-based package for statistical natural language processing, document classification, clustering, topic modeling, information extraction, etc. Then hypothesis is there for annotation, and annotation is जो आप लिखते हैं तो you do margin में write down, so you can annotate basically. So people have done, when I was in Oxford, they were showing me the work of Samuel Beckett, and Samuel Beckett used to annotate a lot. So they have done the analysis of those annotations, what he was thinking while he was writing. So he has annotated, I am thinking about my dog right now, kind of. So those were the annotations, and they have done the analysis of the annotations as well. And then Recogito is there, which allows users to annotate documents with comments and tags and to create linear visual relationships. So, like Sir was talking about, he's working very closely with his student. So you can work together. She can annotate, I can annotate, or he can annotate, kind of. So, like Google Docs, they are collaborative in nature. These are also collaborative in nature. Then Engram here is a very, very good thing. Acha, do you know about capture and recapture? What is recapture? What is recapture? So when you open your Facebook account, you need to, or even IRCTC booking, you need to type down something to show that you are not robot. You know that. So there was a time on Facebook and everything, there used to come a recapture, and recapture was like bahut ulte seedhe kind of words. Do you remember that? It was so difficult, and we used to click audio batao kind of thing. So recapture was basically Google's this whole movement where they digitize books. So we digitize it. So recapture was part of digitization. So what they were doing was they were scanning and archiving books, and the books were very, very old, so they were using OCR technique. But then there are limitations to OCR. So if the book is very frail, or it's not very legible, so what they used to do was they used to take those words and give it to us. So if 100, so they used to give it to like 100 people. So if 100 people are typing DEIT kind of thing, everyone, so they will say, oh, so this is DEIT actually, kind of. So we digitize books. So we helped Google to digitize books, and now Google is using Ngram. So this is my work, this is your work, basically, what whoever was using recapture. So based on Google, so one capture was the original capture to see whether you are a robot or not. The second was digitization, basically. Content enables users to keep track of change in usage. And then there is plugin for Zotero, and that is again for topic modeling. There is Textile Voyant is there. So I have already talked about Voyant. And then there is Words here. It is text analysis environment that combines visualization, information retrieval, sense making, and natural language processing to make the content of text navigable, accessible, and very, very useful. So what are the scopes? So computing technologies, methods, and tools are data and text mining, statistic, visualization, interaction, immersion. Immersion is metaverse kind of thing. Immersive technologies, VR, information search and retrieval, information design modeling. And the humanities matters data sets and disciplines are humanities data sets are there, cultural data set, network theory, narrative, and storytelling is there. And you can find it. So a lot of cultural preservation people who are into museology, they also work on digital humanities a lot. Librarians work on, I know someone who is working on coins, and they collect coins, and they have done this archival of the coins and the so you can see the library, and they have taken out all the coins which was found there during particular period, kind of thing. History, philosophy, linguistics, literature, archaeology, art, music, performance art, cultural studies, social sciences, motion pictures, library, archives, galleries, heritage, etc. I will give you a few examples. So what digital humanities projects can be if you want to do a digital humanities project. So these are the ideas. Online geospatial tools, you can make those. Heritage tools can be done. Animals which you found, flora, fauna kind of thing can be done. Podcast can be done. Data visualizations, oral histories can be done. 3D designs, academic journals, of course, digital archives, websites and blogs, text analysis, video games, digital mapping, online exhibits, digital monographs and editions can be done, and more than that as well. So if you want to establish DH research, basically you need to have lab, pedagogy, digital infrastructure, funding, support, communication, and collaboration as well, which I think we have started doing it. We are trying to do together, especially in Gujarat. So I will not go into this. So I will just give you now a few examples, and then I will be done. So So this was a project which was given to us, which was not given to us. The money was given by Nirma University. So it was a digital humanities project on study of presence and problems of gendered language in digital world, with special reference to political reporting using AI. So at that point of time, Mamta Banerjee was abused with like Didi Didi kind of thing. You know, the Twitter was full of hateful speech against her, and then Smriti Irani also, and those kind of thing. And that, and then Hillary Clinton. You know, the research. So one of the things with research is research should be fair, and fair is FAIR. That means findable, accessible, interpretable, and then researchable. That means if there is something research is happening somewhere, you should also able to do it. It should be scalable actually. So if you're putting up your research on the platforms where people can see, they can actually take it further actually. And this is what we try to do in India. And we got award. I was in Oxford University, so they have this digital humanities summer school where they talk about research a lot, and I got runner up award for this project from Oxford University. So what? But then we used AI because I'm working with Nirma University, so I've got computer science people to help me out. So tweets of the Lok Sabha members' Twitter accounts were extracted using the Sanskrit library, and the House currently has at that point of rate was 543 members. 416 active Twitter accounts out of 5. So this is just a small part of methodology. We have collected tweets from the 6-month period, January 2022 to and then we manually annotated each politician's gender and all, and we tried to do this. So it was basically a Venn diagram, you know, the language, gender and politics was there, and we, so the tweets were there, language used by gender and language used for gender. That means language used for women politician was different than language used for male politicians. Language used by women politician was different than language used for by male politicians. We have also, because the data set is there, so we collected 350 tweets, 3 lakh 50,000 tweets. Data is there. We have now cleaned the data. Lot of emojis are there, and I am very much interested in. So emojis are nothing but graphical representation. So can you also analyze emojis? We have done a very small work in my I teach a course called gender communication. In gender communication class, where we have seen what kind of emojis we use, girls and boys, you know, females and males, and exclamation marks as well. So if the girl is typing, she will say, "Oh, I'm coming," and there will be 5 exclamation marks. Okay, I'm coming, kind of. And the boy will, "I am coming," no full stop, no exclamation mark. Okay, so this is socio linguistic, basically how you are using, you know. So they are always, you know, little hyper, and boys are like, okay, fine. And how much they are participating. So there is a WhatsApp group, and we did a lot of chatting there, and then I've taken from, I mean, I have taken their consent and taken the data from there, and we were trying to do. So similarly we did here, and a lot of results are now coming out. We are, so emojis and language and abuse and hate speech, lot of things are there which we will be working on for next 2 years. No, these are few of the things which I have already. So digital spaces as spaces of liminality and resilience was one of the thing where we have done the COVID thing, and we have tried to see the language, obituary language actually. So digital humanities study of mourning, and then language used by stand-up comedians we are working on using audio tools actually. Gender purchase behavior was also done. So couple of my friends, they have got a startup, and the data was there, and they have tried to see what kind of, so how financial dependent females are or independent females are, and whether the UPI has their name, or they are using their father's debit card or credit card kind of thing. So we have analyzed that actually, and how financial literacy. So it was basically financial literacy. Then Bollywood songs and gender representation as well, where someone has done. We were trying to do Taylor Swift's song analysis as well, and trying to see what kind of soft words are there. Taylor Swift is a phenomenon now. Gender representation as depicted in Bollywood movie posters. We have done. So someone has used. They were from EC actually. They've used image processing, image recognition, and they have seen. So you must have seen Bollywood, you know, where the hero is standing and the girl is यहाँ पर वो आलू के बोरे जैसा है kind of, the girl is like that. So we have tried to analyze and how the women are. So basically, it was male gaze and how females are objectified, objectification of the females. So while we were doing this, a group of girls, they started talking about how the reverse male gaze is there. You know about male gaze? Do you know about male gaze? Male gaze is when you invite, so they say now the influencers, they have reversed it. So not in a female gaze kind of. So it's like now I am the camera person, I am directing my own video, and I am deciding that I am going to get ready with me, and I will be, not in my pajamas kind of thing. So the male gaze, the males are not there, the females are there, and you are choosing to be. So this no, so they are trying to analyze the social. Why is it? Because of the societal pressure, the unconscious, the conditioning, and those kind of things. um I so three examples. So one we did on motorcycle and masculinity, and so motorcycle is always used to show masculinity, and we have taken, so we have made a visual library kind of thing. Ajay Devgan, दो motorcycle के ऊपर, do you remember Fool? And so that was the height of, Ajay Devgan as a most masculine person, दो bike के ऊपर खड़ा है. Or the female travelers on Instagram influencers, they are riding Harley Davidson, those kind. So how motorcycle has a, or Dhoom, if you remember Dhoom 1, 2, 3, 4. So how motorcycle was always an icon for masculinity and how we use it. So they have just used the pictorial thing. Someone did on Adarsh Balak memes. Do you know about it? Adarsh Balak. So Adarsh Balak is, if you remember, when we were in second, third class, Adarsh Balak सुबह उठता है, नहाता है, कंघी करता है, माँ बाप के पैर छूता है. So there are a lot of memes of Adarsh Balak and Adarsh Balikas, and that is again stereotyping, and they have done on stereotyping, and so they have used these graphical representation of Adarsh Balak. One of the area which I work on is underrepresentation of gender, and I love working on that. And it starts with a question: can you name 5 famous scientists? And the second question is: can you name 3 women scientists? Can you name 2 Indian women scientists? And most of the time, people do not know actually. So this is human knowledge based system, and then there is automated knowledge based system. So automated knowledge based system is search engines, and we think that this is a twisted kind of reality where you do not know any. Maybe Madam Curie you will know, not many. We are replicating same thing there on internet. I have already told you whatever is there on internet is the Shashwat reality now. Rest of the things will not matter eventually. So if there are not representation of brown Indian women in STEM, eventually people will think we are not into STEM. So we need to be there. The stories should be there. The biases should be removed from the AI, and AI is extremely, extremely biased. So I've done a okay. No. So what we did was we have made a blog. My students, they have made a blog, and they have posted a lot of women scientists, women in, and they have worked for atom bombs and missiles and a lot of very advanced kind of topics as well. So there is this whole blog is there. It's called Underrepresented Women in STEM. We have also made a blog called Gender Every Day, where we keep on posting things on stereotyping, and women stereotyping, and how females are perceived, and how we normalize the jokes, and those kind of things. So they keep on posting. So blog basically is again part of your digitally producing content actually. So these are few things which I wanted you to check out if you can. Digital Humanities in action. A digital love story is a wonderful. I can't use internet. Can I? It is. Okay, but then I need my slides as
Please, please.
do we have time? Oh, no. Okay. The core value. Wait. Let me see if I can get that. No, I don't think so. So what is the future of poetry, if you ask me? So this can be one of the thing. um, where should I go now? I can't type, I can't paste. Yeah, please. The core value link. Okay, so this basically is about claustrophobia. You know how you feel confined in a box. So he has made this box and written a poetry inside it. So basically, this is one of the example of um, future of poetry. So it will not be there paper may talking about claustrophobia. But it will something like this where you are inside the box and you are writing about how you are inside the box and feeling so suffocated. So this is one of the example. And there were, can you also show the other one? There was the vocal history. Yeah, thank you. So this is absolutely beautiful thing which she has done. um, so this is basically historical project but history of word, and she has made this map. So this is basically map of the words used very frequently in historical text. And now just click anything, click on any word. So you click on the word traitor, and then the history of traitor and the people are talking about it, and then there are others. So you go to then the army and it will go further. Okay, so this is hypertext kind of thing. So Wikipedia is all about hypertext. So that is why we say digital natives and immigrants. So digital natives like hypertext, where you start with something and then you end up something somewhere else actually. So this is example of that hypertext. The beauty of hypertext is very random knowledge is there. So this is example of that. Okay, so these are the questions. I am done with my presentation. Thank you so much for helping me out. um, can I go back to my slide? Yeah. Concluding. Okay, I'm concluding. So 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 we are teachers ना, 1 घंटे से चाहिए और घंटी बजनी चाहिए. So there were a lot of questions. I think I have answered a lot of them. A couple of questions were very very philosophical. I'm not very much into philosophy. There was a question on reader engagement. I think Richa will be the Richa 2, the deepfake, nahi, real Richa will talk about that. She will talk about reader engagement. There are Mishras and Richa as well. And then someone talked about background of digital humanities origin. I have done. Then someone talked about theory of ENT. I think it was ANT. Humans and non-humans at equal platform. I'm not into those kind of studies. I think we have not done. Sociologists talk a lot about humans, and we basically say that non-humans are not our focus. Um, but non-humans or post-humanism is what I am working on. So post-humanism is human and AI. Are we going to fall in love with our AIs, kind of thing? Sir has given example of Siri and Alexa. I would just end with this note. So we have done a very small project, and which is a very very difficult conversational AI. And conversations, so Siri, Alexa, these all are female AIs, and they were trained as 1960s 70s women secretary. So he says, Siri, darwaza band karo, and Siri will do. Siri, pankha chalao, she will do that. And then there are male AIs. Watson is one of the male AI, IBM ka. There is another male AI called Ross, and they are very bossy kind of AI. You tell them something, they say, "Oh, this is not possible. I can't do this." Kind of. So, are there gender connotations here as well? So, I will end up with have fun with digital humanities. You cannot escape it. Embrace it, basically. And I am there. Dilip sir is there. So, my email ID is richa.mishra@nirmauni.ac.in. You can reach me anytime you want. If you want to do a project, Very nice. Very. I will love to do that. Have a great time. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Richa Mishra, madam, for this insightful presentation. Now I would like to invite Professor Rehman sir for the final remarks on this session.
Thank you very much. Very informative, very informative session. Am I audible to everyone? Yes. Am I audible to everyone? Fine. Yeah. Almost all the basic terminologies which are often used in digital humanities have been covered in this session. And I think that the questions which I could come across be satisfied well, and the question raisers could have also enjoyed the session. It started with Roberto A. Busa's thought, who started DH work, say, during the Second World War, when and one of the most disastrous incident in the human history, the history of human tragedy. He started to archive the philosophy of the most difficult philosopher of the time and justified being associated with the computer manufacturer. He could complete his thesis, or say the project on the philosopher, in order to justify that humanity must survive. So, but after that, Roberto A. Busa started talking about new phase of humanities, where he wanted to see that the golden words, the human words, living words, emotive words should be preserved, should be conserved, should be understood deeply. So he proposed in one of his articles published in Companion to Digital Humanities, Perspectives on Digital Humanities, proposed three important ideas. Ideas on cultural informatics, technological miniature, and informative humanities, which was connected by him to hermeneutics humanities too, or hermeneutics technology too. He proposed it to save the human words, right? First, because people were unaware of so many things. Shakespeare occurred in Europe, or say in London or somewhere in England. We don't know. We came to know about him through the books. We are reading it. But when he saw that technology is not going to stop, he worked with HCL then and continued the IBM, and he completed his project. But that mind was there that the golden word should be preserved and conserved, which we are still understanding. Very thankful to Dr. Richa pointing out many aspects of digital humanities, keeping in the mind that how Frano, Jahana Drucker, Leo all have or could contribute to the development of digital humanities, with special reference to the tools which are really not known to Indian students, like Want is a beautiful and wonderful tool. Orange is also, which has not been introduced in this session. Atlas TI is another important tool which are used by the text analytics people. And she emphasizes also on how to work on, how to act upon, rather to theorize. Here I would like to remark that, there should be and must be a understanding on computational humanities and digital humanities. Please take care of computational humanities and digital humanities. on humanities, informatics, and digital humanities. How it works? Only first by knowing theory of DH or in DH, which teaches you how to do DH, not only how to understand and how to imitate others, but to create DH. This is one of the aims of digital humanities practitioners, to create DH. Can we create Grammarly? Why our students are not doing these multilingual technological experimentations? Why BA student or MA students are devoid of learning technology? Only because they don't know mathematics. So DH has revolutionized it, and you find all these things in the theories only. So we have started theorizing first. We have started letting the students know what theory is there, philosophy of digital humanities is there, what is the mission of digital humanities is there, to check and stop the uncontrollability of the technology. In the morning session, I have heard means many technical terminologies were used. The students do not know about them. We all are using technology. We don't know A of technology. We do not know T of technology. We do not know Y of technology. So digital humanities are in the process of through some theory. That's why theory should be important. One of the statement was there that we are still theorizing. We are Indian, that's why we are theorizing. We know first, we experiment first, then we execute, and this is what the essence of humanities. We are not the people of technology. They just know how to create, but they don't know how to philosophizing the creation. So this should be understood clearly, and only then you will claim that you are teaching digital humanities. Otherwise, it will be humanities computation, humanities hermeneutics computation. Digital humanities has only one important issue, that how will the people of arts and humanities have capacity to challenge the uncontrollability of the technology. Right. So this is what my remark was on the statement that we are still working in theory. Why? Because it is very, very, very important. We don't experiment unexpectedly. Right. There are many things to do. Humanities inspired technology is now these days. Right. How technocrats are being taught by the humanities people. We are seeking that opportunity now by teaching digital humanities to the students. So with this kind of remark, would like to close my statement that it was a wonderful session, right? Covered almost all the technical terminologies of digital humanities, which should be known to the basic learners of digital humanities. We have started digital humanities at this university, lovely professional university, right? I know what problems were there to introduce them, but thank you very much for letting our student also to know the challenges and the opportunities that could be provided by the teachers of digital humanities. Thank you very much for this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Rehman sir, for your valuable remarks. Now, for the token of love and appreciation, I request Bharat sir to kindly offer a memento to Dr. Richa Mishra ma'am. Please, sir. Please, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Again, I request Bharat sir to verbally felicitate Rehman sir.
Yeah, sir, Dr. Waliur Rahman, sir. We had a very interesting first time meeting during Corona time. We had a webinar on epidemics and literature, and we came across this good friend, Dr. Waliur Rahman, through another connection. And at that time, he he talked about medical humanities, which also is an unexplored, not much talked about area of research, medical humanities. During epidemics, we were talking a lot about medicine, healthcare, and humanities also. So this is a second online meeting with us, and you accepted our invitation. Right now, at that time, he was working with MIT Gwalior. Now he is with Lovely Professional University, Punjab. And many of his students from Jammu and Kashmir also has joined online this seminar. So thanks, Rahman sir, for spreading the message about our seminar, accepting our invitation, and giving a very fitful chairperson's remark also. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nigam sir. Thank you, Richa ma'am, for these insightful sessions. And thank you, the audience, joining us virtually and physically here for patiently listening and the thought-provoking questions that you addressed. And everyone, I now have a happy announcement to make. The lunch is ready. So yeah, so I request all the guests and the offline attendees to proceed in the external department building that we have, and we will meet in an hour from now, so exactly at 2:30. Thank you, everyone.
Hello. Yeah. Just for a while, just stand there where you are. We'll take one group photo from here with everybody behind. Our guest may perhaps leave after lunch, so